yo, yo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Brownies.
Kamuจะเป็นท้องเสียชุดกำลังจากไข่มุก
Wow, is that a brownie too?
Yeah, this is
Cake?
like
Wow.
it's like a soft brownie.
Wow.
They're not bad. Very fatty. I'm that kind of guy. Bad food. Okay, back to the chicken wow. Kita tak, tak kurma. Okay, chicken wow. Tak so di kapay, kapay.
สวัสดีค่ะ
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Thank you, chicken wow. Cool. Okay, madam. Yeah. Yeah. That's what we could do the
Can
video.
you hear us okay? Yes, good. Let me think. I might sit next to you so there's not like this big.
Yeah, come sit next to me. See,
Charlie is live too, so there's probably a lot of people watching him.
I'll be in my best behavior. It's live now, I assume.
Yep. Just resetting. Let's see. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh man.
okay, let's go. Huh?
Okay, we're gonna go on a walk. Oh,
Would you like me to go first?
let's go. Let's go sit over there.
They're jealous because they're not on TV.
I just want to drink
Yeah, they'll
this.
send them. They'll give the money to a Thai music company.
How's it going, guys? We're gonna mosey for a moment. Doo-doo-doo.
หอยหอย
Much better, much better, much better. So we're gonna go and walk around.
Watch,
Check
turn
out
on
some
this
food.
TV now.
Yeah. They're just gonna keep following us.
All right, sit here.
Let's see. Sure.
Let me sit here, yeah?
Yep.
We go down here because the trash is going to smell in a minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just one seat down. I'm only telling you from my experience.
Okay.
Maybe here with better lighting. I'll wipe it.
Sure.
I'll wipe the table.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm only worried about the video quality.
That dog is gonna eat our food. It's eyeing the brownie. What's up, guys?
Things you got to do live streaming. All right, it's up to you, big boy.
So,
You can sit here after.
yeah.
Put it on here, dry clean before you sit over it.
Okay, sit over there.
If you want me to do the same position as there, sort of corner it here and then come sit down. It's up to you.
Well, I got to read this, right? Do you have your glasses?
No, I didn't. I got my contacts. I think you have X-ray vision, man.
Okay, okay. Very good. People are funneling in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, this will work. So then I can read it to you. And
I
so
think you have the best vision in Pattaya, to be honest.
vision's a little blurry right now, but
Oh yeah, you had a session last night, huh?
wild times.
I heard the news on Pattaya channel.
Oh yeah.
They're talking about some
All the
video
gossipers.
expert walking around with about 5 ladies.
Do you want another brownie?
So no, you go.
Sure.
For, thanks, yeah. All right.
Okay. How's it going, guys?
Wait.
I don't see it. Remember, Sammy, what's up? Dr. Ken. Let's see. Yo, 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 what is up? Okay. So how you been doing?
Yeah, it's been a busy week. Good to see everyone. Hello and thank you for having me. As if you have a choice, but it's good to be here. I was here about an hour ago. He just showed up, but I had to eat dinner. Today it's been a eventful day, a lot of work. So hence coming here to eat. And that's it. So today, if you have any questions, medical or whatever, feel free to ask. Dr. Ken at your service. And while he's eating his brownie. Yeah. And hope everyone out there is all right as well.
So, you guys have any questions for Dr. Ken?
And I got your emails. I did answer some of them. And I didn't check my email yesterday, but I did answer a couple emails. Oh, how many people do you have on there now? What did you do?
22.
Okay. Oh. And if you don't have any questions, enjoy yourself. Oh, coffee.
Okay, Tommy Jones asks, what's the best way to clean, scrape, or cut when visiting Thailand?
What's the best way to do what?
To clean, scrape, or cut alcohol, right?
Oh, clean as well. It depends on the cut. First of all, if you do have this wound, my sympathies. But in all seriousness, if you clean the cut, it depends on the cut, how deep it is, and of course if it's a scrape or it's actual laceration. Me personally, if a wound's quite deep, you don't want to throw alcohol too deeply because you know that fatty tissue deep, quite deep under the vascular layer. Because alcohol does dissolve fats a bit, it can cause a naughty little scar, almost like a keloid. So like if it's too deep, I clean it with saline. Salt water is very powerful. Don't use seawater because seawater does have bacteria in it that are tolerant to the salt. But normal salt water in the home, very good for cleaning cuts, regardless of the cut. But don't put too much salt in it. You know how they have this isotonic, 0.9? You can make it a little stronger, but that will kill bacteria and will do the job. But yeah, when you do, it depends on if you have in the fall and there's debris in there as well. That's another issue. You can use a soft sponge to get it out. But a little alcohol or saline. Saline's usually better because it's neutral and it's natural to the body, so you won't get as much scarring. Okay, cut.
So what do you think about aspartame?
Aspartame, the artificial sweetener. You read it if you look on the internet. It's 180 something times sweeter than sugar. Aspartame's a protein. If my memory serves me correctly, it's 3 amino acids in length. If that means anything to you. So, we have proteins, but aspartame is one of them. It's actually a very small protein. You hear a lot of controversy about aspartame. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It's sweetener. It's obviously you don't have to worry about the calories. But they do have these things. It does pass the barrier of the brain barrier, and people worry about tumors and other things that they blame on aspartame. So there's a lot of controversy, and I'll explain more. But you can see I know what it is. No one would know it's a 3 amino acid protein. But yeah, it is good. A lot of people are very tolerant. Some people claim they get headaches, so they think off, like MSG. Sorry. But yeah, if it doesn't affect you and you like it, and you're controlling your diet, yeah, go for it.
So, what is this one? How do you overcome chronic gastritis type C with PPI? And then it's this really long word.
Proton pump inhibitor.
Yeah.
Yeah. See that? He's reading it all. But chronic gastritis. For those people who don't know, gastro stomach, itis, inflammation, chronic all the time. It depends on the thing is, you're saying with PPIs, proton pump inhibitors, you're saying ranitidine, omeprazole, things like that, cimetidine back in the day, still useful. Yeah, you can take PPIs. The thing is that the reason? Gastritis, gastroenteritis, or anything like that, is caused for a lot of reasons. So the thing is, you have to say what's the real cause. I'm not going to tell you to go get an endoscopy, but the gastritis can be caused by multiple things. A lot of people don't have acid, but they don't have reflux. Of course, they don't have a problem with acid, but they drink a lot of alcohol. So keep that in mind. I'll try to answer these as quick as possible. You can take PPIs if you have acid reflux, and you'll know Because if you drink coffee or haven't eaten anything and you feel it, you feel acid. There you go. You will know it's acid. But PPIs are only a short-term solution. If it's chronic, you want to find out why. You also got to check for Helicobacter pylori. Is it bacterial that's causing it, or is it stress? Because stress can also cause it as well. You know, it causes you to secrete adrenaline, and that makes you secrete acid, make acid in those parietal cells in the lining of your stomach. Okay, next.
So what about methylated spirits?
Well, methylated spirits are dangerous, and of course, you know, what are you talking about methylated spirits for? You can't eat methylated spirits; you'll kill yourself.
What is that?
Methylated spirits.
Sounds horrible.
No, those are the things. You know. Remember back in the shed, back in the days in the States and Canada, you had the, now methylated. I'm just here. I'm picking on him. When you say methylated spirits,
More thumbs up, guys. 37 watching. 2 thumbs up. Come on, man.
you know
We're with the
the
doc.
ethanol is alcohol. Methylated spirits is methyl alcohol. Methyl alcohol will cause you to go blind in your retina. If you're trying to quiz me, I think he's trying to quiz me or she's trying to quiz me.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, if you know what it is, you have that grain alcohol. A lot of people mistake with
meant
that
for
name.
cuts.
Huh?
It meant for.
Oh, okay, sorry. I
meant for
thought that was
cuts
with the
and laceration.
gastritis.
For
Okay.
Cuts and laceration.
You really don't need it. I mean, you can just pure alcohol. Sorry, there's a dog barking. But you know, basic salt water, alcohol. You have different types of alcohol, don't you? Isopropyl. You know, methylated spirits, but you know, be very careful because a lot of these alcohols, they're mixtures. You hear this witch hazel. Then you know, you have a lot of different things that can kill bacteria. So you know, you got to say what type of cut are you talking about? I know you said cuts in general, but are you talking about like a deep cut? Do you have it? Is this laceration? What kind of cut? Yeah, definitely don't drink methylated spirits. And not to be And any other questions while I'm waiting for that?
Well, this one looks like the same question. How can I overcome? Here, let me go back. He answered you. Stepped on a piece of glass
Ooh, sorry to hear that one. How?
on your run the other day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you
Put
step-
some
Yeah.
and,
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
and put some methylated spirits on it.
Yeah,
It's still a bit itchy.
yeah. You step on a piece of glass. You know, if it didn't puncture too deep, that's a puncture wound, isn't it? Laceration, puncture. That sucks. You know, it's usually with me, and I've done it even to myself. I try to spread the wound a bit, lift my foot in the air, or have somebody pour it in because you want to clean completely inside. Usually, when the glass penetrates, your tissue acts as a sponge and cleans it, so the dirt stays more superficial. But give it a good clean just in case. But if this has already happened, it's probably healing up, so you can't spread it anymore. So you can just probably. There's not much more you can do. You can clean it externally because the scab is still soft and will soften from sweat when you walk and when you shower. So when you get done with your shower, you can put some alcohol on it, basic alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, salt water, and then put a bandage on it because the scab that forms particularly from glass, what will happen is it will soften and come apart and it will sort of sew itself. The skin will bond together, deeply to the top. That's not always the correct order, but because the feet are always moist from sweating, that will happen unless you wear flip-flops all the time. So yeah. I mean, you don't have to put methylated spirits on it. Alcohol, your basic isopropyl alcohol. You can put methylated spirits, but just be careful what methylated spirits mean, because a lot of times they sell mixtures. But, yeah.
So, okay, Spicy Noodles, welcome, new subscriber. He asked, is Dr. Ken retired?
Semi. I still work, but not every day, thank God.
Do iodine, alcohol, etc. kill tissue? For example, in deep wounds, only clean with saline or saline water, right?
Yeah, that's good. Good question. The iodine obviously is bactericidal, but iodine can also kill cells. Iodine can be toxic, of course. That you remember back in the days they had mercurochrome. I don't know if you remember, but you have iodine solutions. If you use iodine, the thing is this: you have different percentages. Dilute solutions aren't very harmful. But then again, there are things that, you know, like I said, you don't use them in soft tissues, you don't use them in your mouth, you don't want to ingest them. It's not, the iodine really, for normal wounds, for deep wounds, you really shouldn't. It depends on the wound. If it's a specific type of wound, let me know what type it is. But yeah, iodines can kill tissues, of course. But they kill bacteria. Iodine kills bacteria, of course. That's why they...
I'm sorry.
That's right.
I'm just saying.
No,
'Cause
don't-
I'm a little slow on the, whatever, all the comments and stuff, so this is another one back.
That's all right.
It's type C gastritis. I take no alcohol, no caffeine, no NSAR medication. I don't know. I guess I left off. I don't know why I have that.
Well, did you?
Or,
Okay. Did you? By the way, for the type C gastritis, who diagnosed you? Did you have an endoscopy? Did you have any other tests? I'm listening. Don't worry.
There's a
No, take your time, take your-
troll sounding comment.
Any other? What comment?
It's just something about waking up.
I'll call you back. I'm busy. I'll give you back.
I always wear flip flops.
Yeah, shoot on shoot. I'm listening. Don't worry.
So, okay, so Sam, hey, what's up, Sam? He says that you should. This is my friend from Finland, and he says you should advise me to eat less sugar. Because it causes inflammation in his body. Inflammation is the root cause of many diseases. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you, Sam. This is true. Too much sugar is not good for you. This is it. Aside from diabetes, the primary worry. But too much sugar, processed sugar can be naughty. Good point, Sam. Good point. Look at me today. I've had nothing but cakes and sweeties and chocolate. It's good for the brain, though. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, he's a super healthy guy.
Good man. Good man.
But thank you. All right.
The Finlanders are like that. They like to eat. They like to eat good foods.
Yeah. So
Go for it. Don't worry. I'm listening.
let's see. Is there any cure for muscle spasms?
There's a lot. Well, there's a lot of things you could do for muscle spasms. Number one, it's good to find the root cause, but it's hard to. The primary thing you see in hospitals, you're not going to go in hospitals checking, but electrolyte disturbances. You have like sodium, chlorine, potassium, calcium, things like that. If you don't have enough calcium, you can have what's called tetany or muscle twitching, things like this. If you're short on certain vitamins, you can have the same thing. So the thing I always say first is, I'm not saying if you're getting a twitch now and then, it's no hiccup. It's normal. It's I go to the gym. Once in a while I'll get a muscle spasm. They're normal, don't worry. But sometimes if you're sitting all day and you're staying still, the muscles will do that. Sometimes you can do stretch exercises, but don't overdo it. Also, but if it becomes bad and you're getting like costochondritis, you get them in the chest, and it's frightening you, get checked, because you just get a simple blood test to check your electrolytes in case there's anything that's causing the electrolytes. You're pissing them out. It's the kidney or something like that. And also tell me if you have any other symptoms as well. Other things you can do, you know how they say take quinine and things like that for
Yes,
for the
reedy mana.
Yeah, you can take things like that as well. But the thing is, the basic things, make sure you have some bananas and stuff. Make sure you get enough calcium. Your diet's okay. Try a little stretch out. That's okay. And maybe a little exercise sometimes. But if they do get bad, do let me know. But most of the time, they're for innocuous reasons, harmless reasons. I see thousands of people in my lifetime with cramps, and there was nothing wrong with them. They're all still alive. You know what I mean? If you get them in the chest, let me know, because sometimes people do get them there and they hurt when you inhale. No one likes that, and everyone thinks they're having a heart attack unless they're getting them on the right side. But yeah, do things like casual stretching. See if you can work it out, and maybe it'll stop. Also, make sure when you sleep, try to sleep flat, not changing the angles too much, because sometimes sleeping incorrectly can cause them. Things like that. Yeah. So yeah, and you keep going. I'm listening. Don't worry. I'm just telling everyone I'm busy. Yeah. I hope that helps.
Sam said magnesium. I don't know.
Magnesium, yeah. I mean, all you know, all the minerals, nutrients. I mean, magnesium's is a chemical, really, an atom, or you know, the magnesium. You can also take magnesium, but the thing is, what you don't want to do is go to a store and buy magnesium supplement if you don't need it, because too much magnesium will also cause problems. So, like you hear people say, take magnesium, take zinc. You're right. It's good to have enough. But we want to make sure that's the cause, because you can try separate things and do a control each week. But you know, just overall nutrition. If you're eating well and there's nothing wrong with the digestive tract, the body will absorb everything, because plants, you know, that have roots will absorb all these kind of things from the ground: magnesium, zinc, calcium, everything. And it's rare to find deficiencies in people who eat all right. You don't even have to eat really, really good. If you're eating a normal, varied diet, you're getting most anything. If you have an absorption problem in the stomach, then it's going to be an issue. Okay, go on.
Is I don't know if I'm saying this right. L-lysine.
Yeah, lysine.
Worth taking daily.
Yes and no. Lysine, if you guys don't know, it's an amino acid. L means levatory. It means it's the rotation of the molecule, which you can't see. But lysine's all right. It's one of the 20 biologically active amino acids, and you get it in food anyway. I know what you're saying. If you're saying L-lysine, they have a couple types. But the thing is this.
Yeah, L-lysine.
Yeah, the normal biological 20 biologically active amino acids are normal and sufficient, and I don't believe these things really do anything extra. Normal lysine's fine. You know what I mean? If that helps.
Very good questions, by the way. Thank you, guys.
You're making my brain work. So I'm not to drink 2 coffees. So
someone said, what did the doctor say about milk and sugar makes more acne and pimples? Question. Is that what he said?
No, I mean, if you're eating a lot of food of anything and you're increasing your metabolism and sweating, you're making more sebum from your sebaceous glands. Not eating more milk. Milk doesn't necessarily cause pimples, nor does sugar. I know a lot of the doctors will say don't eat so much candy, especially for teenagers, but
that's what I was always told.
Yeah, this is it. You know, and they'll give a teenager tetracycline, won't they?
Yeah.
The thing is, though,
I was on it.
Yeah. Some people, regardless if they eat, you know, neutral foods all the time, you know, de-skinning meats, eating eggs and things like that, and just, you know, vegetables, will still, hold on, there's a bug on me. We'll still get acne, because the bacteria flora changes, many reasons. But in general, yeah, it's good not to eat too much sugar all the time. I mean, this is the second question about sugar, but if you're having a good diet and you just, a lot of people who get acne take showers all the time. Not dirty, but some people make more sebum. When I was a teenager, I used to be oily here, and I used to get pimples here all the time. This is part of life. If you can keep the area oil-free, but not completely oil-free, or the skin will be dry. And that does cut down on the acne a lot. Yeah.
This is interesting. Can drastic weight loss cure diabetes? I don't think so.
Not drastic. Drastic weight loss weight loss can stop diabetes if it's not insulin dependent. You know, you have type 1 and 2, and like, say for example I'm eating all kinds of foods and putting on weight. I can become diabetic. I won't require insulin, but what will happen is, because I have more weight on me, more fat tissue, that will stop the insulin from being sensitive. So what will happen is, I will be diabetic. So yeah, if you lose weight, yes, that's correct. You will not be diabetic if that's the reason. But you don't want to lose it drastically or you get sick. Now, drastic weight loss is always unsafe. You want to lose very slowly. You still want to eat every day. If you can do exercise, even if it's at home playing around, but just eat well, and you lose weight. I mean, even me. I mean, I go up and down all the time, so I can have a laugh about it. But yeah, I hope that helps. But not drastic, slow.
Is it worth taking digestive enzymes?
They're pretty good. Sometimes you have papain, sometimes you have some pineapple enzymes and things like this. They're good for digestion. They do help sometimes. In fact, I used to take them. They taste good as well. I can eat a whole bottle of them. You can't overdose on them really because they're made of protein, and they do help sometimes if you have something and you really aren't digesting it. You can take digestive enzymes. They do help a bit. You know, but if you do require them all the time, you have to think, why am I requiring them? Should I change my diet? Is it a food that I'm not digesting? Think of that as well.
Someone has, I guess it's a new person, someone asked what kind of doctor is Dr. Ken that determines what kind of questions?
Dr. Ken even in his training and working, has done most types of disciplines. So you can ask most anything. The one thing I haven't done much of, but is oncology. I mean, I know I understand cancer and things like that. I've done general medicine. I've done orthopedics, psychiatry. I understand the scope of everything, but I wouldn't be rude and say I know everything. That's not nice. But I try. And of course, if there's something that you want to know, and even if I don't know it, I'll always research it for you. And you can throw me an email. He wrote my email down. Throw me a question. But like I said, yeah. So if you have a question, ask it to me.
Okay. Yeah, Bjorn fan. This is another part of my show, and I like Dr. Ken. He gives good advice, and so yeah, maybe this right now, maybe later if filming something else, you might be more your speed. But as far as Bjorn, he's been resting. I've been kind of chatting with his wife, and he's been resting. So as you know, he hasn't been doing any live streams. So hopefully he rests well, and we can meet up soon. Looking forward to that. Are vitamin supplements unnecessary?
If you don't have like I said before, vitamin supplements, I don't personally believe you need to take them unless you have a deficiency or you have an absorption problem, because most of the time you will absorb vitamins from your food properly and you don't need them. I mean, if you're not eating a lot of fruits and veg, you can take vitamin C. But personally myself, I don't take multivitamins. Sometimes I see they do more harm than good. I see a lot of people take vitamins and then end up with skin problems if you don't need them. I also say once in a while a vitamin can help you. I mean, if you're not eating well and you're on the run all the time, a half a vitamin every couple of days is what I would take. But I don't believe in supplementing every day. I don't believe you need it. I believe it's useless. And I believe that if you take vitamins every day and you don't need them, to me, I personally believe it does more harm than good. Vitamin C and the water-soluble vitamins are okay, because if you take more vitamin C than is necessary, you'll piss it out, as long as you drink enough water. But yeah, I don't take too many vitamins.
Let's see. How long should someone water fast for autoimmune disorders?
It depends on the autoimmune disorder. Keep in mind, there's a lot of different autoimmune conditions where the body reacts against itself. So suppose you're talking about arthritis. So suppose you're talking about organ, immunity, particular tissues, MS, things like this. What kind of autoimmunity is, by the way?
I'm very behind, so that answer's not going to come anytime soon.
Keep going.
Let's see. So this one's for Mana Mana. What up, Mana Mana? So as a father of a newborn daughter due in 2 months.
Congratulations.
What are your thoughts toward vaccines in general? Let's see.
Yeah.
And you advocate against them?
Oh yeah, they're essential, but the sad part is when a kid gets a vaccine and has a reaction, and you see, like for example, as a reaction, you hear sometimes on the news these horror stories, the kid developed autism or something, and that's sad. It happened to my friend's son, lovely kid, intelligent kid. The one in 100,000, 200,000 kids will have a reaction. Sometimes people die. It sucks, and I've seen this happen in the hospital. I cried about it. The thing is, without the vaccinations that they give, polio and things like that aren't eradicated, regardless of what they say, there's still polio and other viruses in the world that are still re-emerging. And if a kid gets that and is debilitated their whole life, we wish we got the vaccine. I know all the controversy about it, and it's really difficult. But the thing is, vaccines save lives. But at the same time, if one out of every 250,000 kids or whatever, 100,000 kids has a reaction depending on the vaccine, it makes us wish we never got that. I mean, I'm the same way. When my friend's son went for his MMR, measles, mumps, rubella. He had a fever for about a week, and all of a sudden he couldn't think right anymore. They wanted to kill the doctor. They didn't know who to blame. And it ended up being, they thought it was the vaccine. I mean, in some of the hospitals, they're so careful now, they even save the vials, they don't throw them away, for quality control. It's getting really tough, but the one thing I say is this: if it were me, I would love to get separate vaccines instead of batches of 5 and 6, because less can go wrong if you have less vaccines, in my opinion. So for example, if I could split up a group of vaccines, I would. I mean, when you're older, you can get away with it more. Studies might show when you're a kid, because the immune system is still developing, I wouldn't want to tax mine. But multiple vaccines for adults, I get 5 at a time when I travel. I used to. You see, but those are my thoughts on vaccines. I hope that helps. And I know it's sort of an open-ended question, leaving you to say you decide. That's a tough one, because there's no guarantee. I can tell you one thing, and hope this helps you in terms of vaccines. If your child or you ever get a vaccine, sometimes it's normal to have a fever for a day or feel a bit groggy. But if it continues and you notice they're not thinking correctly, they're glassy-eyed or look really different, pupils change, get to the hospital ASAP. Maybe, sometimes there's things they can do, slow down a reaction. And that is the most important thing, intervention, okay?
Ask Dr. Ken, is it normal to have muscle spasms in the throat?
No.
It's hard to breathe.
That's not good, and you need to get that checked. I'm not saying it's anything naughty, but some people tell me, well, have you ever smoked or drank? Because sometimes the irritation, or if you had reflux, a lot of acid over the years, it can cause throat tightening. And there's nothing wrong, you won't die, but it gives you this feeling of constriction, and sometimes can cause the muscle to fire, and you feel like you get a spasm, but there's really nothing wrong. Let me know that, and of course, I want you to get checked if you don't, particularly if it's getting worse. Oh, keep going, it's going.
I am so behind. I just scrolled down.
Keep going, that's all right. They're listening, and keep going.
Sorry, I'm just kind of going through and reading back.
Go for it, take your time.
Wow. I don't know where I left off, man. Sorry, guys. Lots of good questions tonight. Well, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up. Give Dr. Ken a thumbs up. He's answering your questions.
Don't give me a thumbs up my backside, just a thumbs up on the internet. Thank you. I'm only kidding. So it's my worst sense of humor. It's clean.
Twisted.
Not naughty, not dirty, but funny. No thumbs up the backside, just thumbs up.
What is this? Wait, how far did I go back too far?
That's all right. Read something and I'll tell you if we read it.
I'm gonna let's see.
It's not me avoiding you, it's him. He lost track of his reading. He's a naughty boy.
Is Candida real?
Candida is real. Candida albicans. You're talking about the yeast, of course, right? Candida, C-A-N-D-I-D-A, right? Candida.
C-A-N-D-I-D-A.
Yeah, Candida. What do you mean is Candida real? Yeah, it's a fungus, and it's part of the normal flora. I won't say bacterial flora because it's a yeast, isn't it, or a mold, depending on the form. Yeah, Candida species like albicans, things like this. Yeah, they're normal, what we call commensal. They don't harm or hurt us most of the time, but they can overgrow, and they're real. Yes, if you take antibiotics, you'll find out they're real when your tongue gets furred. They overgrow sometimes. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know why you said 5, but here's a question.
Go for it.
What 5 vaccines do you take while traveling?
Well, that's a good and bad question. You haven't told me where you're traveling. If you're traveling to Asia, you want things like yellow fever. You want things like rabies. You want things like hepatitis B. You see what I'm saying? If you're traveling to if you're from another country and you're traveling to America, you just want. I tell you the one thing: wherever you do travel in the world, you don't need yellow fever unless you go into Asia because there's the mosquitoes and the types here. I would personally get rabies and I would get hepatitis B. That's the biggest. You definitely have your polio. Believe it or not, some of you out there, well, none of you would disagree with me, but if you do, fair. But a lot of people, I tell people get rubella, German measles, and people go, what? Let me tell you, it's not eradicated. I was vaccinated when I was a teenager, a kid to a teenager, 3 successive ones. Immunity is supposed to last for life. Rubbish. It lasted for me about 40 years, and some people in the restaurant, the whole restaurant caught it, including me. I caught it in time, took some anti-inflammatories and was fine. 10 people were hospitalized. So that's another one I would get because it's re-emerging, and even back in Europe, they're not vaccinating against it. It should be, but go on, keep going. I hope that helps.
Someone says that they almost had neurological disorders after hep vaccine. The third booster. Not a fan of the vaccines, and that's why I turned into holistic medicine. That's why I switched.
Yeah. I mean, you're a smart person. Holistic, a lot of things are good, and my hat's off to you. I couldn't see the third dose hurting you. I'll tell you why. I know what you're saying. You increase the titer each time. But if you would, the one thing I would say is if it's from the same batch, from the same corporation, and and it's from a reputable company, which is another subject, the first dose would have done just like the third dose. I know because you already started to establish immunity. When you get hepatitis C vaccinations, you get one, you wait a while, get another one, then you wait and you get another one, as you know already. If you had this neurological, could have been something else. Also know that sometimes people have a reaction to the constituents of the vaccine, not the virus itself, because they're either killed or attenuated viruses, live attenuated. So they used to make vaccines. There was this controversy a long time ago with mercury in them and other components, and people used to have a reaction to that. Very naughty, a lot of controversy. If you're getting a vaccine, it's a difficult thing to go to a travel place and say, I want the same brand. That's not even things that people bring up, but it's things that I think about, and I want you to know that. But I'm very sorry to hear that. I hope that it's panning out for you. And that's something you need to get checked, because I can't see hepatitis C causing neurological symptoms. It affects the liver, not the nerves. So that I want to know about, and we'll talk more about that, because I care, and I'm worried. It's usually not the virus. Go on.
Can lack of vitamins as a child affect your adult life?
Only if it's, anything that could affect, like suppose you're talking about classic things like rickets, vitamin D, calcium, and then
rickets.
Huh?
Yeah. I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, but I talk old school. I'm an old school doctor, and I talk old and new school. Rickets is still something you see around the world.
Really?
Yeah, in countries
rickets?
This is it. When you don't have enough food, it sucks, or not eating well, or have some type of disorder.
Wow.
But the thing is this. The body it bounces back. It's very strong. God made us. We were made fantastically. Where a lot of things that don't develop, we can cause them to strengthen. If you have anything particular that you might have thought is affected, let me know what it is, and I'll tell you. But yeah, you can always make up for it most times. Sometimes the skeleton can suffer a little. If you're developing and you didn't have enough calcium or vitamin D, some people, the skeleton can be a bit, but it can strengthen definitely and thicken. You can have a stronger skeleton as an adult than anyone else if you work it and exercise. Go on.
Wow, this one's I'm no doctor, so some of these terms are like...
Read them. People they're trying to get me. They're trying to quiz me. Not this. Spell it?
Oh, here. You got your glasses on?
No, these aren't my prescription glasses. Go for it.
Fugix? I'm sorry, that one's too complicated.
Okay.
Hey, thank you for the donation.
Keep going. Next question.
Can you tell?
I'll get back and read it.
Sorry. Okay, so you drink and smoke. That have been diagnosed with stress, anxiety, in terms of throat spasm.
So
So this is the person, I guess. Yeah, this is Dr. House or Mr. House, excuse me. And he says, tell a doctor I don't drink or smoke, but have been diagnosed with stress, anxiety in terms of the throat spasm.
Yeah, you know they have this thing that's called, you know they have these old Latin terms like hysterica and stuff like that. Like sometimes they, you know, psychological reasons we can worry, and you know, they can cause that. You can feel like you have a tight throat. But I can tell you one thing: spasms aren't the norm. Sometimes throat tightening. Ask them if they used to. They said they don't drink now. I don't think they said they don't have any history of drinking either, right?
Mr. House, want to answer?
Yeah. Because if not, hold on a minute, let me just tell these people I'm busy.
Someone said.
I will call you back. Hold on. If you have no history of drinking, and you definitely have no history of reflux or anything like that, it's definitely worth getting checked. Did you ever have an injury in your neck? That's the other thing I need to ask you. And also, are you taking any other medications? These medications sometimes can cause spasms. So if you are, let me know. I mean, if that's the case. Chances are, if you've been worried about this, you told your doctor about medications, and they would have told you it's a side effect. So if not, don't even waste your time. But
Don't have a history of drinking or smoking.
well, when did these start? Did you have these since birth, or when did it start, and how old are you? And also, are you male or female? Very important.
It's not cheating. Someone says.
If I'm cheating, you'll know, because I'll have to answer one question every 10 minutes.
Let's see. Thanks, Dr. Ken, for the for answering. Would you buy Viagra off the street here? Y'all say it. Nope.
Yeah, it's a tough one, because a lot of people sell genuine Viagra. You know, here a lot of people say you have to have a permit to sell it. You know, there are a lot of loopholes here, and people do sell it. You know, the old saying goes, buyer beware wherever you go for anything, anywhere in the world. You know, because anyone can sell a fake anywhere. You can go to China, you can go to America. If you're buying off the street, it's always a risk. But a lot of these vendors here really do try to give people real whatever they sell, because people will not come back to them, and a lot of people live here and will see that person and yell at them. So, you know, I would say for the most part, I would think you can have confidence. But you know, when you buy something anyway, if it were me personally, whatever you buy, I would take just a little at first. I wouldn't suck down a whole sachet or a whole tablet. Suppose it is fake and you get sick. You know, always do what Dr. Ken does. Have a little bit of it first. I don't take Viagra, but I'm saying even if you buy vitamin C off the street, you always have to, you know, check if you're going to be your own guinea pig. I hope that helps. See, I didn't cheat. I'm trying to multitask.
So this is one from earlier. 2 days after the third Hep boost, my urine smelled like ammonia, and days later, burning tongue, and a day later, I woke up in the middle of the night and fell down.
Shit.
Half my body is numb on one side.
Oh,
Wow.
that's terrible.
Damn.
Well, I mean, that is terrible,
So
and I'm
fine.
really sorry. Did you go to the hospital
what's up,
right away?
Glenn?
Well, keep going.
I'm sorry, I just said hi to Glenn.
No, okay, go for it. Yeah, did you go to the hospital, and what they say? I mean, you know, falling down and can't getting up, you know, is reminiscent of stroke. The ammonia in the urine is not reminiscent of a stroke. But the ammonia in the urine doesn't mean hepatitis, because the kidney is what controls the output. So the thing is, if you have ammonia in the urine, ammonia is normal. Ammonia comes when protein breaks down. You see, I'm not using the computer; I'm using my brain, which is better. But so we can't say the shot did that. I know what you're saying about the tongue. That sucks as well. The question is, could it have been something else? You know what I'm saying? You know, did you go to the hospital and get it checked to see what the cause was? Because that's not good. You know, because usually the second dose would do the same thing. Yeah. I mean, I don't hear that too often. That's really rare. Was the vaccine from a bad batch? Was there an additive in it? Was it from a different company? That's bad. I mean, I gave myself my own hepatitis B vaccine series. You know, we get them for free in the hospital sometimes. I did my own, and the thing is, I try to get them from the same company. I know it sounds stupid, but because you're getting that continuity, you know what I'm saying? You get it from a company somewhere around the world. I'm not saying that the quality control's not there, but sometimes the quality control is not there, and I wouldn't trust it. Where did you get the vaccine, by the way? Where are you from? Where'd you get the vaccine from?
So the person who was talking about they didn't have a history of drinking and smoking. They said he's a male, and shoot, where is it?
Okay, male, fair enough.
Had his approximately 2 years.
Right, 2 years. Okay, ask it. Yeah, and it just started about 2 years. Ask him, has he gone to? Well, he went to the doctor, and they talked about, not saying psychiatric, but that he was.
Many.
Yeah.
I'm exhausted. Pardon me for being all.
Yeah.
I'm reading all these friggin' things and.
Better you than me. I'll tell you. I don't want to be.
I gotta get text to speech for us, Ken.
Definitely. I'd have to go real close to it. You don't want to look at me close up.
I'm trying to stare at this stuff.
Yeah. The question is, the spasms in the throat are uncommon unless food gets stuck there. Sometimes you can have fatty tissue. That's in the last 2 years. Have you put on a lot of weight as well? The reason I ask is just like people snore from putting on weight, like me, for example. I can snore a lot when my weight goes up and down. Well, up. Have you put on a lot of weight in the last 2 years? Because the throat does suffer. You can have tissue deposit. You can have folding. You know, this is it. And another thing as well is too, have you had an infection in the last 2 years that affected your throat? And maybe because it caused an anomaly. Because sometimes when you get spasms, it's usually neurological or vascular. You know, if you, just like, you know, hemorrhoids in the back end, you know, the vessels, if the vessels enlarge, if you get varicose vessels in there, you can get spasms sometimes, or pain that feels like a spasm. And also, did you ever have your throat stretched or something that stretched it? I know it sounds silly, but if you stretch the plexus of nerves that runs down the throat that causes the swallowing reflex, maybe something was damaged. Did you ever have an accident? I mean, you know, it's something, I don't think you're gonna die, but it's something to look at. Do you know what I'm saying? And how long does this spasm last? That's not good. Can you cure it by drinking water? You know, I mean, I know I'm talking a lot, but I'm trying to help you.
No,
No, not you, him.
Me.
Yeah, no.
I'm just.
No, I'm talking to him.
I've been scrolling up and down in this.
Scroll.
What? Hold on a second. That's probably a troll. That's not his wife. I didn't scam any money from you guys. That's a troll.
Oh. Troll. You get trolls all the time?
Okay. I mean, it's an interweb, man. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
look at
not
those sparks
fair.
over there. All right, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
It's
call
gonna
an
rain
end to
soon.
the. Really?
Yeah,
Did you want to go up there, or do you think?
Can
we
real
should-
quick if you want, because it looks like
You can-
do you think it might be worth it? The reason I say is because they called for, I forgot to tell you, they called for a storm to come in here tonight.
Oh.
And when the wind starts like this, it usually means in the next 15 or so it's going to drastically rain.
Oh, really?
So I would just wait just in case. It
Okay.
may pass.
Because I wanted to go on a walk and go on a little
Yes.
field trip. But if Dr.
Wait 10
Ken,
minutes. Wait 10 minutes, and if it passes, we'll go.
Yeah.
I just don't want your equipment to get crashed.
No, I don't want it either. It's good. Let's see. All right. Someone's falling for the troll's comments. It's not.
Mm.
Wow. It's so funny how they just all start coming out of the woodwork at the same time. What are the causes of tonsil stones? Never heard of that.
Oh, these
Tonsil stones.
yeah, tonsil stones.
Sounds-
They're really
that
not true
sounds
tonsil
brutal.
stones. You have a couple different types, but you have the in between the tonsils, you can have buildups. Hold on one second. Let me just do this. As you see, I'm just doing something else real quick. Keep going on. What was that other question you said you were going to go back to? You said that you
I don't know,
couldn't
man.
read it. No, the guy with the what's it called? With the not the spasms, not the gastroenteritis.
I don't know. There's so many. I'm sorry, guys.
Don't worry, we're gonna
you're
review
have to
them all.
come back. If I miss you, you're gonna have to come back.
Hold on, I'm putting the phone down a
And,
minute. Hold on, I'm gonna.
Yeah, cool.
Hold on.
Got some more Bjorn fans in here. Thanks for subbing.
Hold on a minute. We're gonna scroll back to where all the questions. We're gonna answer all those in a second. I'm gonna run and have a wee real quick. I'm
Okay.
gonna pop.
Go for it. All right. So,
Would you want a coffee or anything if I go to 7-Eleven?
No coffee for
I'm
me.
gonna
Yeah, I'm all set.
quickly go and come back. Where's my? Oh man. Sorry guys, I'm dying. This is a medical condition called bladder explosion. Hold on a minute.
I should probably go too.
Oh, you're choking, man. I just dropped my tissues. What an idiot I am. Hold on.
What is the best cure for trolling? Having good mods. But and just ignoring them, I guess. Okay, Metro. Sam, I don't know. What do you mean? I should probably go pee too, because I'm gonna have to go pee eventually. Do I believe in afterlife? I don't know. I think it's possible. I think like it's windy, but it's something that I don't put too much time into. What's that one book? The Book of the Dead. You know, I think I read that a long time ago, and Tibetan Book of the Dead or something like that, and yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of religions, what they teach in the world and stuff like that, and also, you know, those are good things to kind of. I'm not a religious person, but those are good things to kind of, you know, generally practice as far as like, you know, being good to others and things like that, and you know, you can go wild and crazy and have fun, but you know, you don't harming anybody other than their feelings or something like that, because they may not enjoy whatever you're, you know, they don't like people. There's haters, but I'm gonna go on a rant here. Sorry, it's a good stream, Chuck. Cool, thanks. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I don't know if that answered your question or whatever, but I believe in the afterlife. I think maybe. I mean, I don't invest that much time into thinking about that, nor do I invest too much time into thinking about like aliens, or not to put them all in the same category. I'm just saying that these are things that people kind of like that are worth thinking about and stuff like that. Also, I don't spend too much time thinking about stuff in outer space and stuff like that, because you know, we're way away from like being able to like, you know, go to other planets and stuff like that. I mean, it's interesting there's only so much time in the day, so I try to you know, I try to be aware of different things, and I try to yeah, but there's only so much you can do, you know what I mean? Cool. Yeah, no, that was great meeting Bjorn. He's here for a few more days and stuff like that, but he's resting, and yeah, I hope to meet up with him again. Let's see. That's a doctor question. But pardon me, I'm gonna give my eyes a rest for reading right now. But what I want to do, if we can, is take a walk up the street. It could be kind of fun, just to get out and move around and stuff like that. And there's like fruit stands and different things up the street and eye candy, you know, to kind of liven up the background, things like that. It's kind of cool. And then you can ask, you know, we can maybe stop and you can ask questions, or you know, or just let Dr. Ken kind of talk about healthy eating types of things. Let's see. Really, the best videos? Thank you very much. I wish the one last night wouldn't have gotten taken down. But even the copyright stuff, I mean, I was cussing like a sailor. You know what I mean? So so that one's not too YouTube friendly. Yeah, I know Charlie's streaming. He's starting to get into live streaming now, and so it's gonna make it, you know, it's gonna make it kind of difficult to, you know, because he has his audience and stuff like that, which some of the people, they have to decide between the two of us. But so yeah, now I got Charlie as competition. Damn it! Yep. But I'll leave this one up, you know, so you can kind of come back and watch it, let's see. Yeah, man, did you guys like the video that I just posted? I cut it so fast. I mean, I was just like, okay, I gotta just blaze through this and just, you know, and I found that track of music. I'm like, yeah, this is the right one. And just, I was like, I gotta, you know, and I don't know, I'm kind of happy with the way that it turned out, of editing it so quickly and everything. But well, there's the one that I literally just posted. It's kind of, yeah, it was like what I would call like a highlights of last night. It's not really a promo, but I will, you know, maybe put larger sections of it and stuff. But I have to figure out the copyright issues and things like that. So I have, you know, with the music and everything. So, oh wow, you haven't checked it out, Glenn? Oh, okay. Dude, this is awesome. It's like he just woke up and then came into my live stream.
Oh yeah.
So do you still think we should not walk around, or?
It's up to you. You want to take a walk and take a chance? We could do. The wind's calmed down a bit. So it's totally up to you. I don't mind. See, people think the storm's coming around. A lot of them will collect up like this. That market on Central Road.
Okay.
It's open all night. Coming. It's open all night, but if they think there's a storm, a lot of them will collect everything and go home, and there'll be less people selling. Only the ones under the roof will stay. So yeah, it might not be as exciting as, but it may be very exciting. Anything goes. But yeah, they called for a storm before. Every Thai person I talked to was like, Ken, the storm's coming. So yeah, it's sort of buyer beware. Yeah. How long are you live streaming tonight anyway?
I don't know. I was gonna kind of, depending on how long you want to do it, I was actually gonna go out and mosey around town and stuff like that. Or whatever, we'll kind of play it by ear.
I'll do another half an hour till 1 o'clock.
Okay.
And then I'll keep the only reason being is just I got to do a couple. Remember I was doing that meeting?
Yeah.
That in America.
Okay.
I got to do this silly little video meeting real quick again.
Oh, okay.
But don't worry. You want to do this today and then do another one, because you know.
Sleep paralysis.
Huh?
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep. Yeah. Okay. What do you want to know about sleep paralysis? I mean,
ask him about sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Be more specific, maybe?
Yeah. Well, you don't have to be more. I mean, until you're more specific, I can tell you this. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people have what's called sleep paralysis, and we're not even going to talk about the visions, but rather causes. the sleep paralysis could be caused for a lot of reasons. Some of them are psychological, some of them are sleeping correctly. In fact, I used to, you know, if you ever seen on TV the old sleep clinic, some people who prop themselves on pillows under the neck, and the neck is, I wouldn't say kink, but can wake up and have sleep paralysis. You also have psychogenic sleep paralysis, and then people who think they really can't, they can't move anything in their body. Because a lot of people confuse sleep numbness with paralysis. But you know, sleeping incorrectly can cause paralysis on most occasions. It's for harmless reasons. You probably heard of the term. You see me not using a computer. You see me using my brain. You've heard the term hypo and hypnagogic. When people are falling asleep and waking up, and can suffer from this. It's usually psychological. You know, you do have the rare. You know, the types of epilepsy where you can have these triggers while you're sleeping to cause it. There are some medications which can cause symptoms like that. Funny enough, there's some well, I won't go into them. I don't want any of the drug companies to be upset with me. But what? Fuck them. I'm not worried about it. But certain medications can cause this as well. But if you have a specific question, let me know. What's the other one you had? Someone asked about kidney stones or certain types of stones?
I'm not sure. Someone said to stop talking to her about close the story about
Close the story about
vaccine story, so don't worry about that.
the vaccine.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't say it.
Oh yeah. Someone asked about kidney stones. Oh, they said about tonsil stones. I forgot. Someone asked me a question about kidney stones or tonsil stones. Totally different. Kidney stones, as you know, can be caused by.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Don't go back because.
Oh, we won't go back. If you want to ask the question again, answer again.
Yeah.
I remember someone asked about stones.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the one that. So many people ask the question, so I'm
How
not
many
sure
people
which.
you got now?
It's teetering around 80.
Okay.
It's been that for a bit.
I can't handle it. I'm just. Maybe hit each comment if we find anything interesting or I can make anything funny out of it. I'd love for you. Speed read, dog.
Said sleep paralysis makes it feel like someone's sleeping on their chest.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
that's
Sorry
a
to hear
tough
that.
one. Is that sleep paralysis? You know, I used to have people that I know who have angina say that's sleep paralysis. If someone's sleeping on your chest, those are the classic old symptoms of emphysema, COPD, you know, COAD, chronic obstructive airways disease. You want to make sure that's really what you're saying. I'm not saying you don't know what you're talking about, but if you feel like someone's sitting on your chest, you know, are you saying there's a weight on your chest that you can't get up or you can't breathe? There's a lot of, you know what I mean? It's different. So, you know, if it's something that's affecting your breathing, some people have this psychogenic breathing when they sleep. They feel like they're not getting enough air or there's a weight on it. You know, would that be, sometimes that's caused by weight gain. Sometimes that's caused by the intercostal muscles, the diaphragm, people eating before they go to bed. The contents in the stomach push up and you can't breathe out as much. And people feel like there's someone sitting on their chest. As you can see, it can be a lot of reasons. Also certain medications, things like that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. House, and he says thank you for answering this question.
No worries. I hope it helps. Anything else, let me know. I know sometimes my answers will spark more questions. So if you need more, let me know. It's cool.
There's just so much to read and go through. It's gonna.
So like, read them quickly. See if you find interesting or
Yeah, that's what I'm kinda
if someone
doing.
really needs help.
I'm trying my best, guys. I'm a little sore-eyed and tired, and
Are those all medical questions at this point? Yes, just ask them real quick. I'll answer real quick. If you go through each sentence.
dude, there's so many of them.
Oh, no, sorry.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm actually getting to the point of I'm tired. I can't.
Speed read one of them, and I'll just see what it says.
Let's see. Did you make a YouTube channel? No, you're watching it right here. Let's see.
And by the way, because the Chuck's saying there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of them to read. He's trying hard for you. I'm trying to keep in the background. If you ever have a question, and like I could always help you with personally, and particularly if it's personal. Someone asked me a very personal question the other day on email, obviously, and it's always between us. But if you have a question, and Chuck tries to read it because there's a lot of questions going. My email address, if you write it down, you can always email me, drkenjames@hotmail.com, all one word, drken, drkenjames @hotmail.com. If you have a medical question and you can't, if you don't think I forgot you, because he's trying to read them, but I see the questions really scrolling. You can throw a question my way. If it's a serious question, you're really not well, and you feel that no one's helping you, you can always email me. But like I said, I'll always answer you. Don't think that I'll leave you hanging. So don't think I missed your question.
So someone asked me earlier, and I'm going to ask you, do you believe in the afterlife?
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. You probably say, well, you know what it is? You ask 10 different cooks, you get 10 different recipes. The reason I believe, I'm a scientist.
I'm going to stretch.
Yeah, he's going to stretch while I answer this rhetorical question. You have a lot of people who say, I believe, they have a blind faith, and that's fantastic. I've always said we're put here for a reason. The odds of just, us being a dominant species, being able to procreate, control life, it makes you wonder why we're really here. And I can tell you anything. I mean, on another note, people will say, oh, well, it could be, just pure chance. And yeah, and it could be. But I'll tell you, it makes me feel good knowing that when I die, there's a better place. You know what I mean? Because what we don't want to think is we die and that's the end of it. I don't mind dying tomorrow. Religion for me, I personally love God. I pray a lot. Purely because it makes me be a better person. If I feel like I do anything wrong in life, I'm not perfect. I pray and ask for wisdom. And I get my little answers. And someone might be saying, Ken, that's your brain or your subconscious or but it's almost like a beautiful little magic. Sometimes, even if I pray and I'm feeling down, all of a sudden I'll see little birds and animals that cheer me up. I think everything's for a reason, but forgive me for digressing, but it's good to know that, if we die, we go in somewhere else better. It'd be nice to know. And I think faith helps us achieve that. So I hope that helps. Afterlife would be cool, right? You know what I'm saying? You notice even in physics, I'm a scientist. You always used to have to prove things to me. I needed to see it in a lab. But I believe in God also because, even in the physics lab, we're detecting these new particles and things. And, they're beyond atoms and compounds. So the thing is, these fragments, we used to have, pions and all these muons and all these particles. I believe there's other forms of matter that we can't control, and that may even be the spirit. And I think we have a lot to find out. But yeah, of course, I believe in the afterlife. I think it's cool. I think when our relatives die, they're probably in a better place, and they're still there watching over us. And I have a lot of friends who go, "Oh, Ken, this is all fake, like Star Trek." I could have a laugh with my mates, but I have a faith. I think it makes me feel good because, like, if I die tomorrow, I'm not too worried about it. I'm like, cool. I try to live a good life. Yeah, I screw up sometimes, but I try. And you don't worry about dying so much. You know what I'm saying? Life's a beautiful thing, but I believe we're only here for a short time, and then it's going to get even better and better. Perhaps if we occupy a different type of body or a different life form. Yeah. So yeah. I know it's a silly thing to answer, but.
So I was actually thinking it'd be cool to go and look at some of these food options, and then
Sure.
you could talk about them as far as health reasons,
Okay.
health-wise.
Okay.
So
All right. Hold on.
Well, I'm not going to go far, so
That's what, you can leave it.
yeah, blowing away. So this is an area where we go and eat and stuff like that, and they have
Come over here. This
they have
one's
lots of menu choices and stuff like that.
I'll show you this one so they can see English at the same time. Because we can.
Okay.
This one might be helpful.
All right.
Because this way they can see both of them.
Okay. Let me grab my food. Okay, you're gonna go to our favorite place. This is where we met.
This one's bilingual.
The lady who owns this is cool. I'm gonna be. I just talked to her. I was supposed to do yoga with her the other morning at like 6 a.m. But She does yoga, but she gave me her line this evening, and we may be doing a 6 a.m. yoga, not tomorrow, but maybe the next day.
That's code for making love. I hope not.
No, I'm not trying to hit
He's
it.
gonna yoga her. No.
Yeah, I'm not trying to
He
hook
wouldn't
up.
do that because Dr. Ken won't allow it. No sex allowed. Even if you're in Thailand, it's
Oh
not
yeah,
gonna happen.
that's right.
He's gonna stay a
You guys have
virgin.
got-
I'm gonna stay a virgin.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay, here's a question: can you become a virgin after you've already been de-virginized?
I think you can spiritually. I believe.
Can my cherry grow over?
That's
or
not
whatever.
nice. But, yeah, I think spiritually you can cleanse yourself and say, you know what, I've made a lot of mistakes. It sucks. I wish I was a virgin again. And I think you can purify or purge or cleanse yourself spiritually over time. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Yeah, it don't mean so much anymore.
Okay, so let me switch this around so we can. Can you see these? I think you can see them from here.
Forgive me, I'm
so you can
sweating
see
and
you
wet.
can see what you're going to be pointing to. So
What-
that's what's on the menu.
Sure. So if do you want me to put? What do you want me to do? Okay.
So let's talk about item number one for me. My favorite is the.
You ate some fried rice.
No,
or
where
what?
is it? There it is.
Which one? The shrimp?
Right down here.
This one or this one?
This one. Tom yum. Whoops. Shit.
Oh no!
No, it's okay. Okay, so Tom Yum, she makes this Tom Yum rice.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, just so you get the
Here,
camera
let
straight.
me
I'll
let
tell
me
you
go
about
here and show you.
it. Yeah.
Right there.
This one is actually called tom yum goong.
Tom Yum.
Tom means soup. Yum is just the style and it's spicy. Goong means shrimp. If you guys are interested. So he likes basically like spicy shrimp soup,
I like spicy food.
and I can tell you personally because I've eaten them all here.
So as far as nutrients,
He dropped the battery, embarrassingly enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't we have to cheer him up now? In terms of nutrients. Uh-huh.
it's is that a good item to eat? Whatever. And I have her put egg on the top.
Shrimp aren't. Put it this way. Shrimp aren't the most nutritious. I mean, you got
I
protein.
don't eat shrimp. So no shrimp. It's that item. I say that.
Minus the shrimp.
Yeah, I say that without the shrimp, and I put egg on the top.
Yeah, I mean the egg. Obviously, the egg is very nutritious. You know, the middle part of the egg has vitamins and all the goodness. And of course the white of the egg is protein. The middle also has cholesterol, as you know, but it's not a big deal. But the soup itself is a broth. There's a lot of spices in it. And it has vitamins in it. I wouldn't call it a complete meal, but the egg does make it. And usually for a carbohydrate source, you can have rice on the side. That's one good dish. So I won't go too much into this dish. But usually people come here and eat tom yum goong, tom soup, the young spicy goong shrimp. But you can substitute. You can eat tom yum anything. So because sorry, I'm always slipping speaking Thai. If you tom means soup, so you can have any type of soup. And if you go to any restaurant, you can have just about anything. And if you pay them, they'll put anything you want in it. If you want to eat good, you can eat vegetables, egg in it. I mean, a real good meal that's cheap. If you want to, particularly if you're on a budget, if you put like egg, vegetables, and things in the soup, you can get a soup for like 30, 40 baht, $1 to $1.20. And it's a good meal. A side dish of rice for 10 baht, 30 cents. And yeah, it works out well. Yeah, I mean, you see all these dishes here are vegetable and rice based. They have a couple different types of rice. Things like this. This is most people eat this kind of thing: rice with an egg, a fried egg. They call it cow bao, sai kai dao. So white rice, sai means add, kai dao, an egg, kai dao fried. And then some people have these side dishes. They put vegetables. The primary meats here in this country are pork, chicken, and fish. A lot of people shy away from the chicken. They say it gives them sore joints. They have some issues here about that. But I've eaten all meats, but a lot of people shy away from the chicken. But the pork is widely consumed, and so is fish. Me, I eat a lot of egg, vegetables. The vegetables are pretty good here. You can change. Otherwise, they put a lot of greens in them. The thing I don't like is they put a lot of roughage in there. All right, it's good if you want some fiber in your diet, but I don't want a whole plate full of fiber. I like to vary. So a lot of these dishes, you notice here, they'll put fillers in there. a lot of greens, but a lot of greens that are hard to digest. You got to ask when you come here to substitute. Put in broccoli, put in the so the greens that you want that are actually savory greens that you can digest and get a lot of vitamins out of. I tell them to put baby corns in because a lot of them have them. So I'll say, can you not put everything else and put baby corns? Can you put carrots? Can you put broccoli? Because then you're getting Western style vegetables, which are good for you, fortunately. Yeah, and that's that. Any questions? Menu talk.
So what about the coconut soup?
Coconut soup is just what it says. You see right here, this is the chicken coconut soup. You can have coconut soup with anything. Basically, it's water with coconut.
What was the one that she said that was her top selling item here?
I didn't hear her, but
The other day she told us.
she did. I probably wasn't listening.
Do you have any favorite dishes here?
Oh, I eat everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll eat fried eggs. I eat rice, egg every day. Well, not every day, but every time I come here, I just have mixed vegetables like this. Just stir-fried mixed vegetables. When you get them, you don't have to have it with oil. A lot of this food, they stick a lot of oil in the wok, the pan, and they fry it. You can do what I do, and I use water, so that you're not getting too much oil, because some people don't feel well after they have a lot of oil. Okay. And if you see any medical questions, by the way, if you have any medical questions, as he's talking about menus, do ask. Did you get anything interesting medically?
Yeah, I haven't been reading it.
You might say like Dr. Ken.
I'm giving my eyes a break.
You might say like Dr. Ken, fuck the menu. I want to ask about my hemorrhoids or something. Ask me. Don't worry about it. I mean, if you scroll and see any, I don't want to scroll on you, but
Yeah.
I'll shut your live stream off. You'll kill me. You son of a bitch.
I'm gonna go back. Oops, shit. I need glasses. I'm realizing this evening.
You want to use mine? They're strong. That's why I look
No.
at these. These I got from the market. My prescription ones I left at my friend's house in Bangkok. If you want these are +5. They're really strong.
Holy shit.
And I'm wearing contacts.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Exactly. Dr.
I
Ken.
can't even. It's gonna make me sick. Holy shit.
See,
was
Dr.
the-
Ken is what you call myopic,
That
right?
was way
You know
too
that.
way too close. You get to see all
Short-sighted.
my pores in my nose.
And I'm wearing contact lenses, which are minus. I'm not even going to tell you. I don't have enough digits.
Yo, what's up, Steven? Welcome.
How's it going,
He
Steve?
says hello.
Yeah. Your
let's
eyes
see.
are good. What are you complaining about? Look, you got X-ray
Well,
vision.
let's see. How hard is it to eat a diabetic diet in Thailand?
It's not hard. The thing to take in consideration is if you have a basic diabetic diet, you want slow-burning foods, don't you, to burn carbs slowly. The last thing you want to do is eat candy bars. I mean, I'm not even telling you anything new, but when you don't want fast fixes with sugars. You want, you want slow-burning carbs. You know the diet already if you're diabetic, and I hope you're doing well. When you come here, you can get the same foods, and the foods are fairly cheap. The problem about having a diabetic diet in Thailand is if you're staying in a hotel, most of them don't have kitchens. You have to rent a condo and have a kitchen. You can go out and buy, noodles and rices and things, and it's very easy in that respect. Very easy to write. You can buy like 30 cents. You can buy like a carb source. You see what I'm saying? Depending on what your favorite one is. Forgive me, I'm sweating. You can eat a lot of vegetables here. Yeah, you can have a very good diet here. Don't get me wrong. But if you like to prepare your own foods, you need a kitchen. But yeah, I mean here, I eat a diabetic diet. My sugars are okay, but I try to eat a good diet most of the time, and you can as well. Yeah, as you see the menus, lots of veg, this and this and that. Are you a diabetic? Are you taking insulin? Are you taking metformin or tablets? Just out of curiosity. But you can get needles and stuff over the counter in the pharmacy.
What's a permanent treatment for gout?
You can take gout medications. There's no cure for gout because the gout is a problem with uric acid metabolism, as you know. So if you have, there's certain foods to avoid. They say don't eat offal, don't eat certain types of meats. No, they say offal. There's certain types of meat you can't drink, alcohol. These things exacerbate gout, don't they? As you know, you can't take certain medications. You look on the list, right? When you get gout pain, like all my mates, their toes swell up when they get the gout attack. When uric acid deposits in the joints, you can. There's prescriptions for it, like allopurinol. You can take that. It is very safe. My father takes it, so I'm the authority on gout because people in my family always call me and say, "Oh, I'm having a gout attack. What should I do?" But seriously, avoid alcohol if you can. Avoid the foods on the gout list. You can take allopurinol, but you can take it, but the dose, you have to get your blood checked to check your uric acid levels. You take a minimum dose, and your levels can change all the time anyway, but it's very safe, allopurinol. There's no cure, but if you avoid the foods, and your uric acid your uric acid levels are normal, you're going to be fine. You're not going to get this arthritis or this pain. I hope that helps.
I believe in reincarnation.
Reincarnation? That's a tough one. I mean, because the thing is, if you're talking about me being, a person who loves God and stuff like that, I've always said, I wonder if God will let us come back, here, or do we have something that is unfinished? I mean, you see every type of case of spiritual, difficulties on this planet, so sometimes we wonder, do we go straight to heaven? Do we go here? Do we go there? Are certain cases, are we in limbo? Do we come back? Suppose that you believe in God and think God knows that you have a serious want, something out of love that you've never accomplished. God is ultra sympathetic. Can we come back? Perhaps. I would like to think so. You know what I mean? Not saying for unfinished business, but out of love. God knows all your wants and needs, and I believe that any of our wants, although we might not seem to get them here, I think ultimately we'll get everything. Because we're put through a lot of trials and lessons, probably to strengthen our spirit. Everything bad that happens to me, I thank God for. I don't want things to happen to me, but if something happens, I believe sometimes God didn't cause it, but He brings me through it. You know what I'm saying? So like the other day, I banged my head, and it wasn't a big thing, but I said, I started to get mad, and I said, maybe God's telling me, watch where you're going. Just sometimes the silliest lessons, because when we have a spiritual weakness, that can filter to every facet of our life. So like when I was a kid, I used to tell tell lies all the time. I had to stop lying because, you think a lie is innocent, and you can spread to other things. So like, yeah, maybe God does let us come back. I don't know, but I know that God's love is, the infinite, and perhaps, anything's possible, isn't it? Yeah. I love to think so. Yeah.
Do you like movies about gladiators? You ever been in a Turkish prison? You
I
ever seen a
haven't-
grown man naked?
Yeah, right? I haven't been in Turkish prison.
Anybody gets that joke?
If you see Night Train, that guy got put in Turkish prison. He tried to smuggle marijuana. I think it's called like Night Train. Good movie.
Night Train's a pretty stiff drink too.
Yeah, I did
Airplane,
know
all right, Peter wins. That's one of my favorite movies as a kid.
that. Which one?
The one I just quoted.
Oh.
You ever been in a Turkish prison?
Oh yeah. Airplane.
You ever seen a grown
Yeah,
man naked?
Leslie Nielsen. What is his name? Leslie Nielsen's funny.
Leslie Nielsen was like one of my heroes growing up. And,
You know,
Benny Hill too. Any
Stephen-
Benny Hill fans out in there?
Yeah. Yeah, but again, Stephen King had an episode with Les. Did you ever see Stephen King? You ought to watch it if you can. I'll send you a link. Stephen King had an episode with Leslie Nielsen in it.
Really?
Yeah, you know how
Wow.
what happened? It's a half an hour special. Stephen King.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, what he did was this, Leslie Nielsen had all this money and stuff, and what happened was his ethos in life was, I grew up, no one's going to take any money from me, I'm the man. So, but Ted Danson from Cheers nicked his wife. They were having an affair.
Oh, wow.
Leslie Nielsen discovered it, and what he did, it's like Tales of the Unexpected. He took Ted Danson and his wife down to the beach, dug a hole and buried him up to the neck, and said, nobody takes anything from me, so they drowned. But then at night they came back to get them. Their bodies. They didn't die.
Did you ever watch a show called The Prisoner?
No, American based or
No, British.
British? I've been in Britain for 20 years, by the way.
Yeah, you should know this, man. The Prisoner. Anybody watch The Prisoner? Old school show.
No, I watched like Only Fools and Horses. I watched virtually everything. Grasby, Nesbitt, if you're Scottish, or Glaswegian, Edinburgh based. I've watched virtually everything there, but I haven't watched The Prisoner, unfortunately.
Okay, sorry.
You're talking about not The Prisoner. You're talking about Porridge.
No.
Porridge is when they were in the prison.
No.
For all you English hardcore.
Sorry, this has been asked a couple times, I think. So, explain why old people crave beetroot.
Huh? because they want to have sex. No, I'm just joking. No, the beetroot, these iodine, it may be because of the iodine. I'll have to check that for you, but because if they're thyroid, if they're having any thyroid, I don't know what, the things, I did geriatrics for 3 months. Geriatrics is medicine for the older people. Sometimes when people have their thyroid changes as they get older, they may have cravings for, in nature, it's in our DNA, to increase the iodine intake. Hence beetroot. I'll check the concentration of iodine, or you can look it up yourself. But that may be part of the reason. I was in the hospital when I did geriatrics for 3 months. I used to see older people night, day, left, right, and center. I don't see so many cravings, but there are cravings in nature, just like we thirst. We have the satiety when we were dehydrated. We do for certain foods, and it may be vitamin deficiencies. Like I said, thyroid. There's certain people who crave certain foods when they need more iodine for thyroid hormone production. Or thyroid, yes. I hope that helps. Why, who's craving beetroot?
I don't know.
Give me their name and address and we'll go and arrest
guys,
them.
I've missed lots of your questions.
Go for it.
But
He's making me, I haven't actually bend down like this just so I can get into the
yeah,
camera.
we're in a weird position. It's this monopod.
Dr. Ken's gonna have a hernia, hold on. And I lost my mobile, hold on, oh, here. Oh, when I went to the bathroom before, they were cleaning it. I had to go in the ladies' room.
For real?
Yeah, it was full of soap.
What is your pharmacy relationship in Thailand?
Pharmacy relationship in Thailand.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know exactly what you mean by pharmacy relationship, but
let's see. What is it? Seems like a number of scripts in the U.S. Do not require scripts in Thailand.
Very true. Good point. And that's good for a lot of viewers. Good you caught that. Yeah, in Thailand, like in every country, in Asia, you can buy a lot of things over the counter. You can get diabetic drugs over the counter. You're talking about like metformin and things like that. You can get them. You can get painkillers over the counter. A lot of people, you wouldn't be able to get tramadol in most countries over the counter. Here you can. You can't get codeine over the counter, even though tramadol is the next step up. You can get, talking about thyroid, we went and got thyroid hormone. Someone needed thyroid hormone. Could you imagine trying to buy thyroid hormone over the counter? You take too much, it can kill you. But here, there's certain things they give you the opportunity to buy. Antibiotics, you can get many antibiotics over the counter. And it's fantastic because you can treat yourself for certain things. Yeah, but then there's a lot of things you can't get. People do come to these countries and buy lots of things. But there's not a lot of, there's a big controversy about Valium here. You're not allowed to buy them in the store. Some people may sell them, but you can have a very big problem, so be careful. Yeah. But you can get a lot of drugs that you really need over the counter, definitely.
Someone mentioned the storm is coming.
The storm is coming. I did tell him I don't want his camera to be wet. When it rains, of course.
Should we hightail it?
No, it's okay, because we can always ride a taxi.
Yeah.
So you were all right. I just don't want you to walk and it comes down.
Yeah. I wish I had my board with me, but I don't know if it's going to be that kind of weather. The waves, there's not any really breaks around here.
Jumped in, you get more waves
but I have
when it
surfed
storms.
hurricanes in, I don't know if it's going to be a hurricane, whatever, but I've surfed a few in Hawaii.
It's a perfect storm.
It's fun. It's not ideal conditions for surfing, but as far as like being a wild man kind of shit, there's a few of us that like to go out in hurricanes.
He's a hurricane surfer.
Yes, and then someone, there was like a local last time I was out, and he was just like, now you can say you've survived surfing a hurricane, And I was like, hell yeah, man. It's always nice getting props from locals in Hawaii.
You see that Patrick Swayze movie, The Wave, that he surfed that wave and died?
No.
In the end, instead of going back to jail, he said, let me go for it. I'm surfing the wave, and because the FBI or the police were after
Oh,
me.
that was Point Break, right?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, you see that in the end. There was a guy they paid $10,000 to that guy to surf the wave. It was some guy who
Oh,
was a
Shane Dorian probably.
yeah, dude, the wave was killer. I saw that wave.
Shane Dorian used to, if he's the one that was the one in it, I'm not sure, but most likely he's the most badass, or not the, he's one of the most badass. There's several guys that are killer surfers, but
That's like that's some Paul surfing that wave.
he actually eats in this vegan restaurant in Hawaii that I used to go to.
Fantastic. That was a big wave.
So does Kelly Slater. But
Oh,
Kelly
fantastic.
Slater's not a big wave surfer, but yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yo,
Surf talk.
bomb bomb. Is that? No, wait. Bang boom. Sorry. Thought it was
If you
bomb
surf,
bomb.
take extra vitamin C.
I thought it was bomb bomb. Bang boom.
1 second, I'm gonna put my bag over here.
Sorry, this is a weird angle, man. We're both like,
Do you want to sit back down a minute?
I don't know. I wanted to like go over the food things again. Here.
Whatever you want to do, I'm all in.
We're just trying to get it so we're not like. Here, give me.
Oh, wait. Yeah, I'll hold it here.
Okay.
We don't want to relive that.
So-
Live the dream.
Here. So stand over there. What's a good height for you?
I can sit over here.
You want to sit?
I can sit, stand.
Okay.
It's
Whatever's
up to you.
comfortable.
Get a chair. Come next to me. There's another one like that. Here. I'll bring this chair over for you.
Okay.
This is the boss's director's chair, so this goes to Chuck.
I still feel like going out walking around. I gotta pee though.
I think we should. Yeah, soon we should, definitely. Get some fresh air.
Um,
Hold on.
so you mind if I run over there and
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna go pee?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I'll sit here.
Okay. So
Any question I can talk about when you're done?
uh,
Read 2 questions, and I'll do it.
let's see. What is your take on meth?
I'll go on that for
and-
you, and then another one.
Um,
Okay. I'm going to answer the what's your take on meth, and just give me another interesting question. I can answer until you have a pee-pee.
What's your take on colloidal silver?
Okay.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
I took that one time. I didn't think it didn't do shit for me. But
That's the verdict. Useless. I'm just joking. He takes everything.
here, I'm gonna put this just so in case I don't want it to fall.
Yeah, I'll watch it for you as well.
So yeah, that's locked in.
Okay.
So meth and colloidal silver. Here we go.
Okay. He's going to have a piss real quick. And because his prostate's swollen, it might take 10 minutes. No, I'm just joking.
I would have to be pushed, filed, stamped, briefed, debriefed, or numbered. My life is my own. Quote, quote, quote.
Haha. He's an experimentalist. Oh, I take it. Do you need five? You need $5 for the bathroom? You got it? Yeah. You need a coin. Just save the money. Piss right here. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. I went running and I'm sweating my bollocks off. Okay. I'll cover a couple things. I remember a couple questions that I didn't get to answer, but I'll answer them and I'll do the math. Somebody earlier asked about kidney stones, tonsil stones, and something else, and a couple of questions, and I'm going to do the math as well. For the kidney stones, if you're still there, sorry if I didn't answer it before, I had to go to the bathroom. Well, I would have had a kidney stone. As you know, with kidney stones, you can wiki them, you can do them, but I don't know what your specific question was. But if it was the kidney stones, they can be caused by anything that can cause a stone. Primarily in the hospital, I used to see primarily dehydration. A lot of people genetically are more prone to get stones. People have a lot of coffee and a lot of things. There's components in that will cause stones, that will cause certain chemicals to build up in the kidney. Like for example, when someone has a stone, when they pass it, a good thing to do is save that stone, and they'll give guys a net that he can put over his willy and save the stone, because that stone will tell you a lot about. They can analyze that stone, and tell you why you're possibly getting that. It's like, for example, if you got gallstones and they're made of cholesterol You know, when we used to take gallbladders out, you got the gallstones. They're fantastic colors. Some of the patients used to make earrings and jewelry out of them. They're beautifully colored, but it depends on their components. So with kidney stones, I mean, I can even personally speak. I haven't had the traditional kidney stone like other people. You know, like oxalate stones. You know how they say don't eat too much rhubarb, you can get oxalate stone, you know, stones made of oxalate or this or that. But the thing to know about kidney stones, first of all, is, you know, if you drink a lot of water, no matter what the case, kidney stones are harder to build up because it's like water going over the rocks in the stream. It'll wear them down. And you can take certain medications that will dissolve the stone, depending on what it is. There's some stones that their components that are harder than others. Calcium, it would not. It's better to take care of a stone when it's small rather than it's large, because you can also get the, you know, the sonic lithotripsy. You know, they can ultrasound the stones. You don't want to have surgery on the stone if you don't need it. Stones are painful. I mean, I had a what I call, wouldn't say a stone, but crystals. I used to take vitamin C when I'd go to the gym, and what happened was vitamin C is harmless, and before I was saying it's water soluble. You can take it. If you take too much, you piss it out. If you have enough water. Well, I was dehydrating at the gym and it built up, and it fucking hurt. I woke up in the morning, 6 in the morning. I didn't know what was going on, and then I did. Anyway, but you know, with kidney stones, if you have any specific questions, let me know. Somebody asked a question or something on, I think it was the tonsil stones, if you're still there. I think I answered that already anyway. I think before I went to the bathroom, I said that's just sort of debris or something between the tonsils. But you don't have to really worry about that too much. You can brush them out anyway. But if you keep getting some tonsillitis, you're more prone to them. They're completely harmless. The methamphetamine, what's my take on it? Ooh, the methamphetamine, any type of amphetamine, this class of compounds, stimulants, as you know. You know, if you have any specific questions on it, I can go on all day about amphetamines. You know, you look back in the day about amphetamines. Have you had the old-fashioned, you know, the colloquial term restorative, like me drinking my coffee? You know, amphetamine-like, you know, response or restorative. You have a coffee in the morning, bang, it peps you up, speeds up the metabolism. Amphetamines are no different in a lot of respects. They cause your metabolism to jump up. Doctors used to prescribe amphetamines. I remember when I was a kid, my aunt used to take amphetamines to lose weight. So she would eat all the time, but then she would take amphetamines for a while. They were prescribable in the States for weight loss. You know, the amphetamines, you know, you have Ritalin. People who have this so-called attention deficit disorder or hyperactivity, attention deficit disorder,
me.
and me naturally. You know, you got the, you know, you take the Ritalin. You notice it's up. You know, on paper, if you look it up, it says that the Ritalin will bring the brain waves together. You know how you have alpha waves, delta waves, and these things. You have more than that, but the primary ones, like the Ritalin, will bring them closer together. So you have you concentrate a lot better. Ritalin works fantastic for some people. You know, I used to hear mom say, "Oh, I don't want my kid on Ritalin." I remember when in medical school and even in the hospital, doctors used to be like, "Oh, if you don't want your Ritalin, give it to me."
People snort it, you know.
People try anything, but I'll tell you one thing: don't snort anything.
I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying people do it. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, yeah, you know the thing is, just touching on that, the reason you don't want to snort is because not only sometimes is the drug dangerous to snort and it'll inflame the mucous membranes, but you have a lot of fillers, you know what I mean, like magnesium stearate and things that the tablets are mixed with, and if they get in the lung when you snort them, they will kill you. You know, snorting is extremely dangerous. You know, you hear people snorting cocaine and all these things. I mean, I'm not condoning, I'm not knocking people. What I am saying is this: they call, you know, things like a lot of drugs can go directly through the mucous membranes. You can swallow them. They don't even have to reach the stomach. But the thing is this: we'll get rid of the snorting. Don't snort, everyone. But you know, like we were talking about Ritalin, you know, when we were talking about amphetamines, it depends what you use them for. Like I was talking about legally, weight loss. You know, the restoratives, if people were sleepy all the time, depressed, amphetamines, you know, some doctors didn't have a problem back in the day about prescribing amphetamines. They are happy drugs. They do make you feel bang, pepped up like you've had 2 coffees. the recreational use, if you're asking. You got all these. You be very careful when you're out and about. When not just in Thailand, but everywhere in the world, you hear of like ecstasy and all these types of drugs. There are so many names. When I was in England, when I was in Spain, when I was in half the countries in Europe, they have about 1,000 different names for all these party drugs. And a lot of them are derivatives of amphetamines. One thing I can tell you chemically, because I worked in labs and chemistry is one of my things. I used to analyze drugs. The thing is this, I'm not claiming to be a know-it-all, but one thing I can say for certain, when you have certain drugs, you can have what's called derivatives. So say, for example, you had one drug and it had a carbon backbone, and say it had 4 carbons long, right? And then you added things onto it. And just say that was a particular drug that made you feel good. If you change that little functional group on the end slightly and added an extra oxygen or something, that drug is still in the same family perhaps, but it might have different properties. And this is what happens over the years with designer hormones, designer steroids, designer everything. You get a chemical engineer like someone like me who loves chemicals, to do good for people, but we all like I love chemicals in the sense that because they can help people a lot. But you have someone who says, I'm gonna try to make, take an amphetamine or any drug and change a functional group or add just something extra on it, an extra hydrogen, an extra oxygen. But that can change the drug completely. It may still cause rapid heart, increase the heart rate, increase the blood pressure, might make you feel good, but then again might cause kidney failure. You hear these things like ecstasy and stuff, you don't drink enough water, your temperature goes up, you can get kidney failure. I mean, this is the case with a lot of these, these derivatives. You have to be ever so careful. Particularly, and I say this just because I care about people. I don't blame people, but a lot of people, that we know, may make things at home in home labs. And some people might be pretty savvy, but you got to be real careful because when people are even making homemade, party drugs or whatever, the problem is this: you have to have really good equipment. When I worked in the lab, even basic equipment for me trying to make anything, you gotta crystallize things, you gotta dissolve them, you gotta boil them at a certain temperature. Like if something has a boiling point, like say 100 degrees Celsius, maybe you get if you boil something at higher, the water will boil off, and supposedly the drug or whatever you have will be left over. But sometimes it's impurities. You got to keep doing it, and sometimes when you're making it, to really find out if things are made pure, there's machines to test the actual molecular structure. It's a dangerous game. I always try to dissuade people from making it themselves, because chemistry, even making easy things, can go wrong. Impurities in the glass and stuff can cause, toxins can get in there, or just, basic things, and cause the amphetamines or anything to be made improperly. They can cause really weird side effects. Amphetamines, what do I think about them? I think they're useful. I think you have to use them with caution, and and particularly if it's a script, you get the instructions with it. I think long term you have to be careful if you're taking an amphetamine for whatever reason. Long term you can burn out just like drinking coffee all the time or anything else. Recreational use, touchy subject. But yeah, I hope that answered your question about that. Maybe I took it the wrong way. My apologies. I try to just make it interesting for you. One thing, when you're taking amphetamines, do know they can interact with certain drugs. You just don't take them willy-nilly. Depends what you're doing. But yeah, you hear people smoking them, doing this and that. Depending on the derivative, it can be very dangerous. Be very careful. If you're going to take any type of amphetamine, you got to research as much as possible. Even tell your doctor, because a lot of doctors out there don't tell on people. Don't think they're going to go, I'm going to call the police. They really will help you, because you tell a doctor, I used to remember a lot of people coming to me, and even friends of mine who are also doctors, and saying, hey, I'm taking steroids, but after taking them for a year already, because they're afraid, they think my doctor's going to tell on me. That's not really the case. Every country is different, and I know they have reporting laws, but a doctor doesn't have to do anything unless he feels it's necessary. And sometimes a doctor can say, look, it's between us, but you don't want to take it if you're doing this, you're doing it incorrectly, and the doctor will give you some wisdom. And there's some doctors who don't, they're not well versed on recreational drugs, on steroids. There's a lot of different doctors. You know, the thing is with me, I just have a lot of academic experience because I'm a reader as well. So, you know, although if I just primarily did orthopedics, psychiatry, general medicine, I read a lot. And I interact with a lot of people who have a lot of, who do a lot of things. And I don't make any bones about that. I'm glad people come to me no matter what they do. Because someone can say, Ken, I'm injecting this or doing this. It's better than them picking my brain and dying. So yeah, but always ask your doctor if you're not sure. I know some people will want to check on the net, but the net's not always correct. I mean, I'm not even going to say websites, but there's online databases that are huge, that have fantastic information, but sometimes they're completely wrong. I've seen pages on some of these online encyclopedias with millions of pages where the information would have killed someone, and I actually thought that someone willfully or purposely got on there, made an account, and you know, purposely tried to cyber attack the site and put information that would hurt people. Because some of the things I found on the net are just so warped and wrong. The net's big, but you can't trust everything. You can take it at face value, but don't think it's all true. I mean, amphetamine information, you'll find a lot of, you know, false information. Be very careful. You know what I mean? So yeah, good luck. Sorry.
So on that note, someone asked someone a question earlier about vaccines and things like that. There's like some, I mean, I'm just going to lump it
Yeah,
together.
sure.
What's your take on like conspiracy theories in terms of like population control and that kind of thing? Or would be, no offense to anybody who believes is that that's just an easy way to ask the question.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I wouldn't, you know, on conspiracy theories, I wouldn't think, even if that were the case, that they would extend it to vaccines.
But I mean, like, let me rephrase it. You know what people refer to as conspiracy theories? Right?
Yeah, of course. I think there's a lot of truth in it in a lot of countries.
That's
in
what I'm
certain
saying.
ways.
I don't mean to say it in a derogatory way at all.
No, that's not. That's a well-known fact. And the thing is this: I'm an optimist, but at the same time, it's not rocket science. We know in certain countries, governments do try to control. You know, and sometimes people get lost. You know, get lost in their authoritarianism. I'm not knocking particular countries. You know, I travel in a lot, and I see the good and bad in every culture. Some people, you know, they meet, you know, government figures mean well and lose their way. And I mean, if you give anyone, powers, I'm saying godlike powers, but ultimate control, they can dictate the difference between life and death. They don't mean it, but do this, you do that. And yeah, I mean, sometimes conspiracy theories, you know, start out as things as little as control for the good of the people, and it can spiral out of control. But in terms of vaccines, it would be difficult to do. Well, it wouldn't be difficult to put things in vaccines. I mean, if you wanted to mass vaccinate a population and put something naughty in it, yeah, I suppose the government could. In terms of just normal vaccines, though, normally they won't, even if they you know what it is, because there's such a low incidence of deaths with vaccines. I mean, a good point to know is this in terms of quality control. If you gave someone one type of vaccine, whether it be anything, measles, mumps, rubella, polio, the PPT, DPT, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, anything. If you give a whole population, a country, 50 million people, one vaccination, statistics should take control. Just like in the World Health Organization data and things like that, or CDC, Center for Disease Control, you should see, out of any population, 1 out of every 100,000 have a very serious reaction, anaphylactic reaction, or death. I mean, that's a terrible thing. I'm not saying it nonchalantly. It sucks. I hate seeing people die or have long-lasting illness because they just went to protect themselves. It sucks. But you should see statistics. 1 in every 100,000, depending on the vaccine, to get sick or possibly have an anaphylactic reaction, nearly die or die. Then 1 in 500,000 having a reaction that caused something in the brain, maybe that affects their thinking, bless them. Somebody else having an autoimmune condition, which can be genetic. It could the body can react against the vaccine and then attack the body. That sucks as well. That's really unfortunate. They all are unfortunate. But you'll see statistics. You see so many. So say, for example, 1 out of 100,000 people died from a particular vaccine. Now, that's 10 in a million. So if you have 50 million, that's 500 people normally will die in that country if everyone was vaccinated in the country with a population of 500 million, right? I mean, 50 million, sorry. So that sucks. 500 people died. And the thing is, but you imagine if before we go further, if 10,000 people died. Now, now that would ring, there's something going on. Was the vaccine batch, bad? And then conspiracy theories come up. Did someone actually tamper with this? Was this a form of bioterrorism? Was this an attack? Was this, or anything? Yeah, I mean, that would definitely. And this is the beauty of it. The world's being made so small with the internet, where even in countries where communication is, controlled, people sneak, through the internet information and say, yeah, well, my village 2 people died. In my village, 25 people died. And when you got people who like me, who collate data and say, wait a minute, that's too much. What's going on? Was it the vaccine? And when you get a lot of minds together and start saying, was it this vaccine that caused 10,000 people? Because something's going on here. And then you start to think of that. And what can we do? How can we investigate it? Because someone has to be held responsible. Someone has to be held accountable, because that's terrible. But then let's leave the deaths and just say everyone got sick with a certain illness. Now, 1 in 500,000 was supposed to have that. So out of 50 million, 100 people on average should get that. Now, sometimes it's more or less, but my point is roughly. So these statistics should start to occur if it follows suit. Because if you get a vaccine for typhoid or polio in America, the statistics should be similar. Should be similar in Africa. Even but then you have somebody who does medical statistics or biostatistics say, wait a minute, Dr. Ken, take into account poverty, nutrition, more people get sick if they're not eating well. I can say, yeah. And then also sometimes it'll be the converse. Sometimes the immune system will overreact when you don't have enough food. I mean, you get all kinds of, there's just anything can happen with the body. So, but yeah, that's in terms of conspiracy theory. Yeah.
What about like GMOs and like food science? You know about GMOs?
Yeah, you're talking about genetically modified?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to make sure he wasn't talking about GMO, something crazy. But yeah, genetically modified is a funny old thing. I mean, I followed. If you guys are interested, I mean,
you know about Monsanto, right?
Yeah.
Like those types of companies.
Yeah. Did you see the one in England where they were growing the wheat? Oh, that's the one. I mean, the company was cool. Someone was growing in England. If you look up on the Daily Mail or one of the newspapers, you look up, someone was growing genetically modified wheat. It was, in the lab. It wasn't supposed to be outside the lab, in the sealed lab that that they work with viruses and everything behind, the bulletproof glass, containers. Ways to use these, and nothing can get out. And even when the workers work, they have a suit, air conditioned, and within a couple of months, genetically modified wheat started growing around the lab.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, how the hell did it get out? And now they can't control it. It's, it's growing all in the area. And people are like, this beggars belief. We're supposed to trust the lab that can't contain genetically modified products. Now they say, well, there's nothing we can do. Wow, then you had people complaining, oh, when I eat the GM food, I was getting allergies. I noticed that I felt a bit stuffy. What's my take on it? It's a tough thing. Back in the States in university, I did a little DNA modification. The recombinant DNA. It's not hard to do. I mean, I did it in my biology studies and stuff like that, and I enjoyed it. I used to break apart bacteria, see what I could modify, see what the bacteria make. I take it a step further all the time. But in terms of modifying food, there's a lot of, you see like some unis and stuff, they want to make a tomato or tomato that won't freeze, that can grow in colder temperatures. So, it's like a fish that has antifreeze, so-called, and it can survive colder waters, like with the fish oils. They try to do that with vegetables. I think the intentions are there. Trying, and profitability, of course, as well, but you don't want to plant a crop and then it's ruined. But GM also, you got to be careful. I mean, you're playing with the unknown. The testing, it's in the continuing testing phase. If you genetically modify something and someone gets sick, or, what if what is genetically modified makes a byproduct? They do try to rigorously test whatever they modify. So imagine if they make a new tomato. It's supposed to withstand cooler temperatures. Sorry, something's trying to bite me. The question is, did this tomato make anything extra? Tomatoes have lycopene, antioxidants and stuff. Is it making anything extra? And they have to, analyze these tomato samples to make sure it's not making something cyanide based. And it's all, the testing goes on for a long time. It's a very serious subject. You can't just go, oh, I'm going to change to make a potato, and change its genetics. It may make something toxic. So yeah, that's what I think about GM. Cool, but you got to check it.
Yeah, I know that like
Got a lot of questions, by the way.
yeah, sorry, I'm reading them. It's my turn to ask you questions. I was gonna mention.
Go for it. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean I was just gonna mention. At least I know in the States, whatever I've heard that for instance, like apples are frozen. There's some sort of freezing process that happens, and to preserve them, and so in terms of like people who are like raw foodies and stuff, they would not. That wouldn't be like a true kind of thing because they freeze them to preserve them and then ship them around. So especially in Hawaii, so when you get it apples in Hawaii, it's been frozen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so and they're totally bland. And I don't know if there's a correlation as far as like that, or if they were just bland in the first place. But the apples in
That's
Hawaii.
what you call a bad apple. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to get a good tasting apple in Hawaii, but.
They volcano heat them when they get no. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just the whole thing about the yeah.
The thing is
I don't know
without
if
in
that's-
freezing. I mean, good point you mentioned, Chuck. And sometimes with the freezing process, we think of just like what microwaves. There's been a lot of people who say, well, wait a minute, with a microwave, when you microwave something, can it split proteins and cause compounds to break apart? And then and get untoward substances. With the apples as well, people like when you freeze things, can it cause pectins and stuff to break apart? Apples have certain components, and where the sugars break apart with the ice formation in the apple. So there might be a slight correlation. Yeah, I mean scientifically it's plausible. Yeah, and the apples, of course, it depends where they come from.
Sorry, I'm just kind of going.
Well.
Yeah, what do you think of the raw diet anyway? Someone asked that. What do you think of the raw
That's
diet?
the raw diet. The raw diet. What, raw vegetables?
Like raw as in like uncooked. You just
Yeah. Okay.
if
So
you cook anything, it heats it up, and so the idea is that it changes the
chemical constituents. Yeah. Raw diet's okay. I used to eat raw
Like
vegetables.
raw vegan.
Yeah, raw vegan's cool. The thing you got to take into account is this: the bacteria get in between things. Like me, I like broccoli. You can't clean broccoli enough because when you get into the leafy portion, unless
That's
it's
just for pesticides or.
no, not even just pesticides. I mean, pesticides can penetrate the, Yeah. If you really want to eat raw, like with me, if I was going to eat a carrot, I get an apple peeler. I get some of the skin off the carrot because the inside still has, the derivatives of vitamin A and things like that. You're not really missing much from the skin, put it that way. But because a carrot comes from underground, soil can be embedded in the skin or just at the outside of the carrot. And there's a lot of little nasty bacteria if you go raw, because you can wash them and take a sponge, or even sandpaper, But if you're going to go raw, I think definitely peel those vegetables. Now you might say, well, wait a minute. If I eat grapes or like fruits, I don't want to peel the skin because of antioxidants. You're right. Wash them good. You don't cook grapes anyway, but the thing is, wash them very well. Because aside from, even when I eat grapes, I wash the skin because pesticides, bacteria, certain things. It's the same with everything else. Yeah. Raw diet's cool, definitely. Sometimes cooking them softens them. It doesn't take all the vitamins away. You got to cook you can blanch vegetables, and if you blanch them, you cook them very quickly. You still get the vitamin content, but kill the bacteria on the outside. But if you want to go totally raw, go for it. Yeah, just clean them very well. I don't want to see you get sick. Raw, uncut.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm kind of going. Isolates? Isolates?
In terms of, isolates. In terms of what term? Isolates of what? Ask a complete question.
Just said what's your take on it?
Yeah. You're not talking about isolated products.
I don't know if I'm.
Just in case. But ask another question while they're defining exactly what they mean.
sorry, I'm kind of like vitamin. Are they healthy?
Yeah, we were talking about that before, but the thing is, yeah, with vitamins, yeah, I mean, we need vitamins. I mean, vitamins, natural or healthy, but I mean, I don't take vitamin tablets. The reason is we usually get enough in a natural diet and from bacterial synthesis. So if you're normally healthy, you know, you're eating a good diet and the bacterial flora in your gut are okay. Yeah, I don't take vitamins. I don't see many people who need them. Again, as I said before, if you have an absorption problem or you're not eating, you know, a vitamin here and there will help you. Vitamin C is okay, as I always say. You piss it out if you take more than you need. But I don't take vitamins. Yeah, you know, you see a lot of controversy on that.
Hey Glenn, could you tell me what I've been missing? I haven't really been reading all this, and is there anything that I should address or ask?
Well, 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 well.
Let's see, what's your take on carnivore diet, eating only meat and fat? Is it healthy?
Cool, dude. Yeah, you know the thing is, I eat meat. I like vegetables as well. I tried vegetarian diets. You know, today meat protein is fantastic. You can in vegetarian diets I tried it and I substituted a lot of soy. Vegetarian diets are fantastic as well. Don't get me wrong. Meat is fantastic as well. You have a lot of people say
keto diet.
Huh?
Keto diet.
Keto.
Keto.
You know, you hear ketoacidosis and things like that. If you're talking about that kind of keto diet, that's in short for ketoacidosis, or ketones or protein byproducts. Verify exactly what you mean. It's about 5 different diets. You know, like the Atkins diet and all these things that say, don't eat carbs, stay away from pure carbs, eat proteins, eat fat, and you'll burn fat. I mean, this is true. His diet was fantastic, but it was bad for the brain. And I think that's what caused some of the lawsuits and people getting pissed off. I knew a lot of people who tried like the Atkins diet, basically eating fatty foods, and they work. You eat fatty foods, it makes you burn fat food. But if you combine carbohydrates, it stops right away. And then, they changed the diet to avoid problems because a couple people died and said put some carbs in it. Because you do need carbs for your brain. Because that's why I was talking about keto and ketone. I don't want anyone to be confused. Ketones are byproducts that from fat burning, and in the brain, you get ketoacidosis, don't you? And what happens is if you burn too much fat too fast, if you're not with your diet, you're not getting enough carbs. The brain will burn fat, and you get the byproduct is you get ketoacidosis. This buildup of these chemicals in you can't get rid of them fast enough, so the brain cells can die, and people have died. You see this thing with diabetes as well, and so yeah, these type of diets you got to be careful. Any diet that you're going to do, investigate. If you have a specific question, ask me. But yeah, meat diets are cool, but you got to put a little carbs in. If you don't balance your diet, you're asking for problems. You got to be an expert with yourself. I mean, like I said, I qualified as a doctor 20-something years ago. I'm not going to be pompous. I think I'm well versed in most things where if I was to have just a pure meat diet, I'd have to watch my ass. And what I mean by that is I'd have to have carbs. Because the glucose is the brain's fuel. You will kill your brain. So
actually, I at one point I lost so much weight by cutting out carbs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it definitely affected my brain for a while. When I was on it, it was
depressed everything as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's like a lot. It's not, in my opinion, it's not healthy. And
dangerous.
I got off of that real quick, but it screwed me up, while I was doing that. But nothing permanent.
Yeah.
I don't think.
If you just eat a little. Yeah. I mean, these kind of diets they're effective, but they don't come without a price. But if you mix the carbs,
others may think that
you lose weight, but slower. But your brain will be preserved.
Bramage.
Yeah. You want to preserve the brain at all costs.
Let's see. CBD oil for pain. CBD.
Yeah, CBD. Can you elaborate on CBD oil? I don't cheat. I don't Google it, but just make sure that the CBD. Can you elaborate on that and tell me what exactly oil that is?
from marijuana.
Or THC.
It's THC, right?
Oh, THC.
I believe.
Oh, sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, because there's.
that,
oh, you mean kind of cannabinoid? Cannabinoid. Yeah. I just want to make sure because there's so many acronyms for oils. For
yeah.
what though? For
Hemp.
pain relief?
Yeah, for pain.
Yeah, I mean, the true cannabinoids, true THC, keep in mind, you have a lot of types of cannabinoids. They're a family, and they're wide and diverse. You hear people having hemp. You had companies selling hemp, in that had cannabinoids. But because there's a lot of different compounds.
Wait.
Sorry. Yeah.
It says hemp, no THC. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's what they're.
Yeah, but THC is a different product. When you're talking about tetra 9, the THC, there's a lot of derivatives. Put it this way. Let me just say this. Everyone's slightly different as well. And if you're using one of these chemicals for pain, everyone's different. It depends where the pain's coming from, and if it's helping you, because there's a lot of people who use these products for. The arthritis pain for this and that, and it doesn't work. And then some people use it and it does work. Everyone's genetically different. So I mean, that's my first take on it. And also know what kind of constituents you're getting as well, because some of these products have a mixture of a lot of different things in them. Some people in some countries call a cannabinoid anything that acts like a chemical in cannabis. So that can be one of 500 different things. You see what I'm saying? Because it doesn't mean if it's a cannabinoid, it has to come from cannabis. The definition has been changed before, even in the European Union. With E numbers and things like that. They had a very big issue about people advertising as cannabinoids versus the chemical definition, just for sales purposes. Because you know how many people in Europe would like these types of chemicals and will readily order them on the internet, and then they get them and they don't do anything. Why? Because the definition that's exercised for sales, it's not really what you're getting. So, yeah, I mean, if you're getting what's called the real product, if it's working for you, fair enough. Keep going. Sorry, hold on.
No. I just want to let you know a lot of people were thanking you.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah. I mean, cannabis. Look, put it this way. I'm just going to be raw and cut. A lot of people smoking marijuana helps for pain a lot. Yeah, I mean, I know friends who used to go out to Amsterdam just to smoke weed for like 2 weeks to get their arthritis under control, and they used to love it. And the thing is, there's a lot to be said about it. It does help people. It does stop. With people with cancer, if they're getting chemotherapy, to stop the vomiting. I mean, there's medical uses for everything. And cannabis as well.
So here's someone who they're a long-time CBD user and recently was prescribed low-dose THC for PTSD.
Oh, post-traumatic, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Is it helping you? I hope it's helping you. I mean, the thing is, it may be, and if it's helping you, cool. Definitely, I'm happy for you. Yeah, definitely. Oh.
Yeah, I like maps.org. maps.org. Good info there.
Go. Yeah, definitely. You know what post-traumatic.
Do you think depression can be lifted up by meds? I think it's a common. Well,
Yeah, I mean the thing is,
sorry, I was supposed to answer that one.
Oh, answer. Oh yeah,
No.
Chuck, take control of it. We'll both give
no.
our input. Let Chuck give his input a bit.
No.
What do you think?
I think, in my opinion, I've never taken any, but because I'm sort of like feel like I want to tackle that on my own,
Of course, yeah.
So my challenges with depression in my life that I've suffered all my life, I have to deal with it. I've been dealing with it on my own and stuff like that.
Right.
However, I don't think that that's for everyone. Some people have it more severe. I have a really good friend that has a very severe case of depression and stuff like that. But it's for me. I mean, what works for me is exercise, being around good people, trying to be healthy and stuff like that. And cutting loose and getting wild every once in a while, and the combination of all those things is something that works for me.
It's cool.
But it's always you're always gonna have good and bad. It's like the balance of life, and so I'll have extreme, and because I have extremes, right? I have extreme fun, I have extreme depression, I have extreme this and that. but then sometimes you ride the wave of, you know, not extreme, and you just kind of relax. So I think that if people would communicate more and talk with each other and help their friends out and be supportive and stuff like that, that helps considerably.
Definitely. Good point there. Support.
You know, if you don't have the proper support and you don't have people to communicate with and stuff like that, and people that can understand you. I mean,
definitely.
And a lot of times when you're depressed, you don't even want to talk to anybody, or you can't even express it. So
exactly.
Anyway,
I mean, some good
go on
points.
And on about depression and stuff like that, but
some good points he has. I'll give you my bit as well. Some very important points. You know, the thing that I'll take off on his before I give you your answer. Your question was, do meds help? The thing is this. Meds can help, but a lot of things can help, and I'll tell you, like what Chuck was saying, support is a fantastic thing. It's nothing better than if you're feeling a bit, down, to have someone who can cheer you up a bit. You know what I'm saying? That's fantastic. Because no matter who we are, we all get depressed. You know, I used to be I'm a happy glutton, and the thing is, we all get depressed. This is how our spirit, our brain works. Things are going to make us feel like that. You know when they say about we have reactive depression, organic depression, you could divide depression. I'll give you some. I mean, I used to deal with a lot of depression when I did my psychiatric residency for a couple of years. I met thousands of people, and the thing is, it's a serious thing. When you have depression, you got to say, is it reactive? Reactive is normal. You have someone who's close to you just passed away and you're depressed, even for a while. That's normal. Don't worry about it. I mean, I don't want to see you depressed, but it's normal. Something tragic happens in your life, that's reactive depression, that's normal. But when things are going good, and that's when I start to say, why are they depressed? You have the typical case, someone, life is good, whether they work or not, they have food, they have shelter, their health's all right, but they're always depressed for some reason. Why I always say, I want to get down to asking them why they think they're depressed. Because the thing is, if you can handle it with support, if you can handle it, I always ask about diet, a lot of diet questions. Let me tell you, if you don't have enough food in your diet, you will be depressed all the time. I mean, even myself, I'm a happy person, but if I don't eat right, the brain does go down in activity. Yeah. And I can feel sluggish. I can, you think more. You're like, not the why me syndrome, but you're like, I feel just not myself today. You're more prone to be sad if you don't eat. I recommend, for me, and even my friends, if you're not feeling well, and you're feeling a bit down, try some, I know it sounds silly, but just, some carbohydrates. Even a cup of coffee. We're talking about amphetamines. I'm not saying take amphetamines, but coffee. When I drink coffee, I'm not a coffee addict. You see me with a coffee, forgive me. It's not like this all the time. But, I drink a cup of coffee and bang.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, but coffee, all those things are fantastic. And if you even fatty foods, some people, they love fatty foods. I'm one of them. When I eat foods with sugar and fat, I feel like a king. I get this surge because it controls your serotonin, your insulin, lots of things. And I can have something and feel really good. Food's so important. So the first thing I always ask if someone's depressed, if someone didn't pass away in the family, or something life-changing hasn't occurred, or some loss, I ask about diet. Because, many people that I know that are depressed, they're not eating right, or they're binging, or they're bulimic, or they're
diet and exercise.
Just exercise, yeah. And the thing is as well, it's just about, getting out doing things. Even if you can't get out. I mean, like the thing is, when
that's the thing that would be the problem.
Yeah.
Because when you're depressed, you don't want to get out and see people.
Just it. I mean, even my friend's in the house all day. My friend had surgery a long time ago. He was in the house for 2 years. He was never depressed because he had things to do, and it's fantastic. I mean, me, I lived in, I used to go, to forget even just the hospital, when I used to program all the time, I used to sit in my room for weeks on end, and people in my life used to say, Ken, you need to get out, you're going to go mad. How can you stay in the room all day? But I was happy in that room. I was sitting in a chair and I would program all day, just doing my stupid databases, websites, all my so-called projects. And the thing is, but I was never depressed for 1 minute because I had my snacks in the room, I'd have a coffee or hot chocolate. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, even for you guys who are stationary, you know what I'm saying? Life can be great because contentment is in the mind, paradise is in the mind. I'm a classic example. I stayed in a room for nearly 2 years. I went out to go shopping, but I stayed in all the time. I did not mind. And some people consider that abnormal, but like I said, it's all in here. And if you are happy wherever you are, that's your paradise. You know what I'm saying? with the internet, it makes the world easier to endure. You know, when I'm in my room sometimes, I can listen to some music, close my eyes, you know, be in paradise. I can watch a video of a beautiful beach, you know, or do anything. Thank God for the internet. We really we can travel anywhere from it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even have to come to Thailand. I should have just had a big screen internet back in Europe and America. But yeah, with depression, definitely. But meds can help if it's a last resort. Just know, yeah. But if you don't have to rely on them. But the meds do help to a degree. But you know what the problem with meds are sometimes? If they have side effects and warp your thinking. You know what I mean? You got a lot of these tablets that they will zonk you. They don't just make you forget depression. They make your brain, you know, work on a different track. You know what I'm saying? So you might feel unproductive. You might feel euphoric. Everyone's different. But yeah, go on. What were you going to say, my friend?
I was going to say, when I was in heavy depression after breaking up with my girlfriend, and even though I'm the one that decided it, I still got depressed because it was, whatever, cared about her and everything, and it sucked to like have to get back to the drawing board or whatever relationship thing. Wow. But what helped me a lot was, here you go, here I am.
Get in the video.
What helped me a lot was actually getting on live streams and talk, not on my own, but when I was just before I did YouTube, and there used to be a guy who used to do a YouTube show, and I don't remember his name, but he was like a gamer, and he played video games.
Oh, yeah.
But when he was on YouTube, he used to broadcast films, and so he would literally go into like the latest movie that's on Amazon or whatever, and then play them on YouTube. Somehow was able to get away with, it's because he didn't save it, but he was able to broadcast movies and stuff, and then he had a chat. And it was pretty much like Mystery Science Theater. I mean, he had his face was down in the corner, the bottom corner, and he was sort of like a commentator. And like he would talk to people in the chat and stuff like that, and they'd play the movies and things. And and it didn't interrupt the movie. It actually added to the movie. But it was a cool thing as far as like interacting with people, and it helped me out as far as like. Because I mean, just like here, I mean, I've met a lot of great people and stuff like that we have similar things. Things in common and things to talk about, and I think that's another thing that I think in terms of why people suffer from depression is that you got to have purpose, and there are a lot of people that are very successful that they and when you're successful and or just retired, even you're retired and you don't have any like particular activity that's making you go out, and I want to even pinpoint it even more. If you don't have something that kind of like it's work, like if you're retired and you don't have to go out and work and stuff, it's I understand it's very hard to force yourself to go and get a job, or go and do something you don't want to do because you're like, I don't have to do that, I mean, why am I gonna? But I think that there's a little bit of something to it. Definitely. By doing something that maybe you don't want to do, which would be a job, or which would be, and that's why they always tell people to volunteer. But my friend that suffers from that, he's also kind of doesn't have to work. He's sort of retired, and he can't go out to go and volunteer and stuff like that because he doesn't have to. You know what I mean?
Right.
And his depression is so heavy that it's pretty much so. But for me, like the times where I'm like got the most energy going in my life and stuff like that is when I'm hustling, doing the hustle of working or doing some kind of activity that's keeping my brain like firing and stuff like that, and the challenge, you gotta love the challenge of what you're gonna do.
Definitely.
And so anyway, that's kind of my spiel, that sort of thing on that. But I think that
keeping occupied is a big thing, and just like you say with this channel, watching those movies, it's diversions.
I know, and it seems like it's like I always say. I mean, I told my friend it's like a distraction or something like that, which is. Definitely. I mean, for him, he was kind of like, it's kind of offensive or something like that.
I did a book a long time ago.
But he doesn't believe in it.
Doesn't believe in what?
That the distraction, having a distraction.
Oh, distraction. He doesn't believe that distractions help.
No, yeah.
Oh,
He doesn't believe that they help. It's kind of like it's something more to it than that, and that's not.
I mean, you're right and your friend's right. You know what I'm saying? Because
I'm not saying it's a cure-all, but I mean, I know that it's helped for me.
It does help. It can help a lot. I mean, the thing is, I did a book.
But it'll come back eventually.
Well, the thing is this: I dealt with thousands of people with depression, literally thousands. For probably minimum of 3 years. And the thing is this: like if you're doing when I did a psychiatric residency, when I was out in Europe, you figure you got 10 minimum people a day, not 365 days a year, but 300 and something plus days a year. In a year you can have 3,000 people, times 3 years. I've seen a lot of depressed people. And the thing is, even for all you guys out there, I know a lot of you used to say, well, this can cause depression, that can. And in my life, this can cause it, or my friend. And you will all be right, definitely. I mean, but with me, because I'm a man who believes in what can we do to stop it. There's a lot, because it's even hard to classify depression. You can say reactive, organic, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is this: if we can get to the root of it and treat it, and a lot of people with depression say, well, how are we going to treat it? Because they wouldn't come to me. No one wants to come and see me. Sometimes people like to talk to me, but a lot of people would rather not come and see me unless they have a medical problem. Because sometimes I can be interesting. Sometimes I can probably bore the pants off of people. But the thing is, my job is to be helpful, to help people. And, people don't want to have to go see a doctor unless they really need it. But they like a doctor who has solutions. And when it comes to depression, I don't know how many out there really, think you're depressed or feeling depressed all the time. I'll put this thing out. I did a book a long time ago. I do my medical books. I haven't put any links up yet because I'm just making everything digital and I've been busy with everything else. But I'll stick some links to the books I've done. I did one on depression in psychiatry. It's user-friendly for everyone, but it's fantastic because it covers depression. And the beauty of it, it gives, out of about 1,000 people, it had a success rate of about 99 out of 100 to bring people out of depression versus taking medicine. There's a lot of things you can do for depression. And I won't bore you to death because there's a lot of people out there who probably don't want to hear me talk about depression or it'll make them depressed. But what I'll do, and if that can help you, fantastic, because there's so many things you can do that you don't even find on the net. I wonder why they haven't even discovered these things or put them. But I used to have therapy sheets for people, and I had a flowchart style thing, and I got about 99 out of 100 people completely off depression. Fantastic, not taking any medicine, because I'd rather anyone do it the natural way. And then you'll see what I mean when I put this on there. But once I put it digital, I'll stick it on for you. But there's so many things you can do for depression before taking drugs. This is the thing. Everyone wants to do something naturally if they can, and we'll stick that on there for you, and hopefully that'll help. Because if anyone has any specific questions about depression, let me know. Of course, I'll answer it. But depression, we can talk about all day. And I've already talked about some things already, diet and everything else. But in terms of if you've tried that already and you say, Ken, I'm eating all the time, I'm still depressed. There's about 50 other things that you can do that I'll talk about. I'll put the link up for you. Like I said, I just haven't done it yet because I've been so busy. I haven't been worried about book sales because these I did years ago. But I'll stick them up for you. Anyway, anything else?
So, just
boring people to death. If you have insomnia, listen to me.
Glenn mentioned your girl's probably mad because you're out so late. And no, we're not going to make it to Soy 6 today. Sorry, tonight. Let's see.
Girl, what girl?
What was I going to say? Someone keeps asking about flu jab.
Oh yeah, what are they saying about flu jabs?
Have you had it, or what's your take on it? That kind of thing.
You believe it or not, I've never had a flu jab. This is the problem. Flu jabs are very useful, and we're talking about older people and stuff, particularly if someone's vulnerable. Flu jabs are fantastic because someone who's older doesn't want to get the flu. Maybe they'll suffer symptoms longer. So, like me, I'm not saying I'm younger. I'm middle-aged. I don't know what you call me. I'm over 50. But the thing is, when I was a teenager, if I got the flu, it might last a day or two. Then, of course, when you're in your 20s, maybe it lasts 2 days. When you're in your 30s, 3. You know, it goes up each year. You know, I'm not saying the body's super weak, but we change for a lot of reasons. But sometimes when we're older, if we're vulnerable, you know, we don't want to catch the flu. So flu jabs are useful. What they usually do with flu jabs is they put the top 5 or 10 flus or cold viruses, you know, attenuated viruses in one jab. So it's not just one flu. It might be a couple of different flus. It's the ones that are going, like for example, when I was in France, what they'll do is they'll combine all the flus that are common to France and perhaps over the channel in England and perhaps in Germany, Belgium, and Holland, so that even if they're all transmitted, you're covered for those. But if you're traveling to somewhere else in the world, you might not encounter those. The flus are different. You know what I'm saying? So there's hundreds of different cold viruses and they re-emerge. I'm not saying they're deadly, but you know, we've caught them already. We're immune to them. But flu jabs are good if you really think you need them. The reason I don't get them is because being in a lot of places in the world in hospitals, people have coughed and spluttered in my face, and I probably caught most flus and viruses. But flus do evolve, they do mutate, and new ones come along. And I mean, they are useful. I'm not saying they're not useful, but I personally don't get them because my immune system is challenged enough by all kinds of things, vaccines. You know, if I get the dangerous vaccines, like I was talking about yellow fever, rabies, those are the ones I concentrate on, and then I got. Because I vaccinated myself for rabies because if a dog bites me or something that's infected with rabies virus, I don't want to die. Where a flu just makes me sick for a few days. I don't really get many flus or colds anymore because I probably caught most of them, just you know, in my travels. But yeah, I mean, they are useful, definitely. I mean, flu jabs do help people, particularly in the winter months when maybe their immune system's down a bit. I hope that helps.
So yeah, he has a few books and like I said, you know, you'll.
Yeah, I'll put them up for you. I'll put them. I know you guys like to read digital. I'll stick the digital ones up there. I just have to convert them because all my books I do are paperback, and everyone's been saying please put them digital. So I said, let me get my finger out of my backside and do them, and I'll do them for you. Yeah, go on.
So let's see. Yeah, I hope Bjorn's okay too. I know that he's been kind of recovering and stuff like that. And I think he's, yeah. And his wife's there to take care of him and stuff like that. I don't think he's sick or anything like that, but you know, maybe just a hangover or something like that. But, I don't know. So they could also just be kind of just chilling. But she seems to be running around, and he's you guys troll comments. So what's your take on the recent events in Dominican Republic? You know what's going on?
Yeah, I heard about that. He's talking about the news events where the people died at the hotel after eating at the minibar.
Oh, really?
Was that the one, right?
Is that the?
Oh yeah, this is the one. That was the
Probably.
question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tragic. In fact, I was watching Fox News.
Yeah, it's a minibar. Yep.
Yeah. See, great minds think alike. See that? Yeah. I saw they come. You know what the sad part about it is? It was very tough because they didn't get to analyze some of the bodies. They cremated them. Why did they do that without toxicology? You know, if someone in my family died, or even a close friend, I'd want them, taken back to the States or to their country because the people want a funeral. That one I don't get. I'm not blaming the government. Like I said, I don't think the government wants any of this to happen. No government wants people to die.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bad PR thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, what's my take on it? You saw these people try to say about statistics and people die everywhere. Yeah, but eating at a minibar, a lot of people have had that problem. I had theories of not conspiracy, but maybe tainted alcohol. I lived in the Caribbean, so I'm talking from experience. I lived in the Caribbean. I was in St. Martin, Antigua, a lot of the islands I stayed there for 3 years continuously. I know the Caribbean. They're fantastic people, but a lot of people make their own alcohol. I don't know in there if they do. Every island does. But the thing is this:
that could be dangerous.
Could someone have made alcohol for the minibar, and maybe there was something, it was tainted? I don't think someone would purposely do it because they're trying to give people, pleasure. Did something go wrong?
Did they find?
I didn't see the
Did they
toxicology.
find methadone in the alcohol?
No, I don't think it was methadone. The reason is this. I mean, I'm not saying that's not possible. I have seen methadone deaths.
Methanol, I'm sorry.
Oh, methanol. Yeah, I mean, but this thing, you get methanol. No, I don't think it'd be methanol poisoning because they would have lost their sight. if you know how you see these moonshiners, if they don't do it correctly and they use radiators or they use some type of alcohol, if you have methanol in your alcohol, it will kill your retina and you will go blind. So, but these people, some of the reports I read were tragic. I mean, one woman got up and screamed and said she couldn't breathe and died. That's fucking sucks. Pardon my French.
Wow.
You get in trouble if I curse? Oh,
No, it's okay.
No, it's pardon me. No, that is terrible. I saw that. Now, another guy, you know, I mean, these are serious things. One sip out of a drink and someone got up. Something went wrong somewhere. Were they different things? Were they bleach in the drink? I mean, I had a problem. I was in Florida years ago, and I went to a cafe. I'm not going to even say where, because to this day I still like to punch them in the face, even though I'm a pacifist. They screwed up big time. I had a cappuccino, and from the cappuccino machine, someone cleaned it before, put bleach or whatever the cleaning agent was, and they made a cappuccino for me. And I went to drink the froth, and it almost burned my throat. Thank God I only swallowed a little. I went in the bathroom, rinsing my mouth out. And when I went to grab some water in the kitchen, the guy stopped me and said, customers aren't allowed in the kitchen. He got knocked over. I went in the kitchen. Instead of helping me, the people were worried about the fucking, the kitchen. I said, I just drank some type of cleaner. So everyone got pushed down. But you know what I mean? It became, after that, then all of a sudden the liabilities kicked in. Oh, we're so sorry. Then security was coming with a free bottle of water. I said, stick it up your ass. It's too late. I practically had to drink toilet water to flush this out. Then they called first aid. Yeah, the first aid came. They got in trouble as well. One of them almost lost their job. I had to go to the division that controls the first aid. The first aid guy came while I was making myself vomit in the bathroom to get this shit up. Right? And the first aid guy's banging on the door. I open it. He says, you coming or not? I said, fuck you if you talk to me like that. Am I coming or not? You don't even ask me if I'm okay. I just drank bleach or some type of, solvent or something for a cappuccino cleaning a cappuccino machine. I mean, I'm not traumatized by it, but I'm saying, could it have been some chemical like that? Because the people who in Dominican Republic, they had swelling of the heart, and I think they had fluid in the lungs. That sucks. I mean, a lot of chemicals can cause that. They had, talking of insecticides, of all kinds of things. Fuck, man. If that was my family, I would have a sample in my glass, and they can kiss my backside if they think they would get that. That would go with me in a vial, and that would go for toxicology. No matter how I had to get that to a toxicologist. Because, they need to find out what's causing it. You also have people who are really nasty in this world. Could someone have been, who has the issues, went around and randomly trying to get people, and every couple of months spiking drinks with something? I mean, it's terrible. So we don't know what happened. In defense of Dominican Republic, I've been there, and they're fantastic people. And the government's out there, they're all nice. They were all nice to me. They don't want this to happen. You can bet if they knew who did this in the hotel or whatever did happen, if someone was responsible, they probably get killed, or they'd be in jail. They make an example out of them. We don't know what happened, but we need toxicology. Those bodies need to be checked. You have swelling in the heart. We need samples of the myocardium to see what caused that swelling. In the lungs, what caused that? Because we need to know the toxin would cause that. That's not good. Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't be drinking at a minibar anywhere, because, you do have people get food poisoning. I saw some of them try to defend this and say, oh, people die. Yeah, people die, but not at one minibar all the time. People get food poisoning, but it doesn't cause an enlarged heart and water on the lungs. When people get food poisoning at any buffet, I've been to buffets worldwide, I've gotten sick. You get the shits, and you get dizzy, you get an upset stomach, but you don't have a heart attack most of the time, or you don't get up and scream. That was some type of toxin or something, in my opinion. And like I said, I'm not knocking the hotel. I'm sure they don't want this. It doesn't do good for publicity. They would probably want to find out who did it and kill them, because tourism has gone down in that area. That's my take on it. I feel my heart goes out to all the families. Ugh. Yeah.
So cool, Rob. I'm glad you like it, and your whole family they watch it on their big screen TV.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Dr. Ken, I hope it works out. For you. That
That's
sucks,
awesome.
Yeah, man. Was he the Dominican? Was he the man?
No. This is someone else. This
Oh,
is someone
cheers,
else. He just said his entire family watches
Cool.
live stream. That's cool, man. I'm glad you like it. Hopefully, I'll be able to get. Cool. Pardon me for some of the low quality videos sometimes, whatever. I notice with my live streams, it's I try to keep it at 720 But in the evening and stuff, sometimes with lighting, it gets a little bit pixelated. So I'm sure on your big screen, sometimes it's a little crazy. I've looked at it on some
He's fooling you. He's changing the aspect ratio on purpose.
restaurants around. But including like the edited videos and things. But yeah, I will as things progress with this. Hopefully, I will be able to deal with certain technical things. So are you talking about Primus the band? They don't suck. I love Primus.
Oh, Primus! I haven't heard of them in ages. Are they still around?
I hope. I mean, I think
Dude, Primus! I'm gonna watch a video
You
when I go home. I heard of him. Yeah, I mean, my friend used to watch
this
him.
big brown beaver.
Yeah.
Les Claypool, man, he's awesome. I'm amazed. Have you ever looked up Les Claypool's net worth? I have this little game that I like to play. It's
called Primus. Now, what is his net worth, by the way?
Yeah, I mean they were popular in the '90s, but I mean it's still good stuff. I guess because it brings back good memories. But what do you say?
What is his net worth, by the way? Do you know? I don't know.
I don't remember it offhand, but I was really shocked at how much.
But it had 7 zeros after it. No,
yeah,
no.
I mean I was really shocked at that. Okay, sorry. Inside joke.
What did he say?
He said it's an inside joke. I don't know.
Oh.
Sorry. But yeah, I don't remember his net worth, but I was like, wow, I didn't realize that he made so much. But I think he's done a lot of producing work and been with other bands and things like that. And
back in the vinyl days,
he lives
man,
in a killer part of
made
California
more.
too.
Vinyl days are gone. Sad. You know, these days, copyright infringement is just too easy. Free music, you go online, it's all free now. The artists are getting killed. Back in the vinyl days, they had no choice. You had to go to the store and buy the album.
Yeah,
Those
Pearl
old
Jam
school
fan.
rockers made some money.
Yeah, totally. And then
You know, my friend used to bootleg albums. I had a friend. He used to cut records. He used to do bootlegs and sell them at the flea market. This guy made a fortune. Every time he got busted, they took his cutter. He bought another one. That's how good he did. And you know oh yeah, I remember. I was a teenager at the time. I used to get free bootlegs.
said the buffet at LK President Third Road wasn't very nice. I don't know if you've had that.
Oh, cheers for that. People will be, yeah. You know, buffets around here, just speaking for you guys who are local, I use a buffet, man. I've been to a lot of buffets around here. On Second Road, they had some good buffets at the hotels. You buy a ticket in the morning from 150 baht to 200. Some of them are good. You know, the thing is, now they're all common because they have less customers. You know, I don't know how good they are these days. I'm eating, you know, because wherever you travel, you got to eat foods that are fresh. But they're trying. If you do eat a buffet, go to at the hotels, go to the ones that have a lot of people who are going down to eat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I go to the hotels where the staff get to eat the food if it's not all served, because the staff won't eat bad food. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but the net worth game. So it's kind of like you look it up on your phone or whatever. This is good at a bar game or something like that.
Right.
And then you know your friends kind of guess what the net worth of a certain person is, or you say, you know, look up. Who would I look up?
Dr. Ken. I'm just joking.
No, it's, what was her name? Lil Kim. Lil Kim.
Oh, Little Kim. Yeah.
Shocked at how much money she had. But
Oh,
how about
Lil'
this? How about this? Here's one. It's kind of a sad one to compare. Okay, someone who's very influential, like KRS-One. Look up
KRS-One, yeah.
KRS-One's net worth, and then compare it to like a lame artist or something like that who has a ton of money. You know, that's what sometimes I like to compare or whatever. Most Def, very influential. He was in Black Star. I don't know if you guys know this.
Oh, I thought you said
know?
Megadeth, yeah.
I don't remember what KRS-One, what his net worth was. I mean, a lot of the numbers I can't remember, but I was doing this game before, like Black Star, he was in it with Talib Kweli, and oh, cool! You know everyone we're talking about. Awesome.
I thought he meant Black Star from Yngwie Malmsteen. Do you ever see that?
Yeah.
Did you listen to him?
Well, a long time ago, yeah.
Dude, I don't really listen to him. I mean, he's a cool guitarist because I played guitar for 40 blooming years. But when I was down in Florida working, this guy came in the bar really basic looking, and he's the bass player. But he used to be the kid who used to go buy the newspaper for them. He used to sort of come and hang out with them, go buy coffee for them, and now he's their bass player. But yeah, that's the black star I thought you meant.
No.
Yeah, but unfortunately, no.
But yeah, like so most def. He has a new. I can't remember his name that he goes by now, but he's only got like $1 million, and he was. I actually think
Only
he was.
$1 million?
He was. Well, I mean.
What a loser! I can't.
No. But I mean,
loser.
for comparatively speaking to a lot of the artists that were influenced by him and stuff like that, they have a hell of a lot more money, especially ones that are kind of lame artists or whatever. But yeah, it was something like I put like Lil Kim up against someone who I really like. That's kind of the object that's, when you're doing it with your friends, especially if they have similar taste in music, then you'll bring up someone like, you go, okay, Lil Kim against, Mos Def. And then you're just like, look at how much, the difference in how much they have, and then you just think about it as far as like, wow, he's so much cooler.
Definitely,
No offense to Lil Kim, because she had some, she was a pretty wild one, but.
Well, doesn't it suck? I mean, it's like, you see some guy who's, worked his fingers to the bone, the touring, gigging since they were teenagers, giving their life. And you got some some little kid, teenager, I'm not saying like Justin Bieber, some kid that everyone wants to smack, and comes and makes like 50 million, and you got this guy who's like, ground his fingers to the bone, working, and he's got $1 million in the bank. Life sucks. It is, yeah. It's a big, isn't it?
Yeah. What was I about to say? Someone mentioned De La Soul. Yeah.
Oh, De La Soul. I remember them.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Me, Myself, and I. Yeah, they probably still.
What else was I to say? Oh, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Okay,
yeah.
So Red Hot Chili Peppers, basically like Anthony Kiedis and Flea are the main members that have been with the band since the beginning. Who do you think has more money out of the two of them? Here, I'll just play this game right now because I know the answer.
I'm not going to say Flea, but I'll say Flea. I don't know.
It may be an easy one or whatever.
Who's the one who started? Remember they were in that movie? They were in Point Break, weren't they?
Probably.
The Chili Peppers.
Flea's,
Remember they were the surfers who wanted to
That's
pick
probably
that
an easy one.
Look at this.
because Flea, he's in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But usually
that was a subliminal clue.
But the person who writes the lyrics in bands typically gets paid the most.
Yeah.
The ones, they're the copyright holder of the music.
Yeah.
And he's a producer for Alanis Morissette.
Sometimes you feel like you don't have a partner.
Didn't realize that. But it was one of but considerably. Look up their net worth, and he has a considerable difference in the other people in the band. But then also look at the guys, the guitar players that have been in the band, that have kind of come and gone. I don't remember their names, but man, don't they rack up quite a bit of money for being in the band for a very short time? Let's see.
Red Hot.
Yeah, De La Soul didn't make much money, unfortunately, but very influential. They're really cool.
Very influential, and what I liked about them is they were very, very clean music. Not a lot of profanity.
Yeah, and they were all about like happy and
They look like the people from the
hippie
Apple
vibe.
Commercials when you see these people with dreads or these fancy clothing. De La Soul. I remember. Roman heck.
Soul is from the soul. And in fact,
Obviously, he likes De La Soul.
from a band called Stucky. Myself. Yeah, funk rock. Totally love it, man. Yeah, you're from Hawaii. Meth. Yeah, meth is a problem all over the place, but in Hawaii, it's definitely.
Hawaii.
I don't know if he's talking about me, but I'm not on meth.
Since he left, the meth consumption has gone down 50%.
Yeah, totally.
But it's a problem everywhere. In Asia, they're trying to crack down everywhere. I never believed it. I don't know. It's since I became a doctor, but so many people come up to me about meth. It's just so it's definitely.
It's someone. Oh yeah, cool. Where's the guy that I met last night? Where does? what's his name? Let's see. Okay, Frank, there you are. How am I doing today? I'm all right, man. I'm sorry I didn't talk to you. I was drunk. I was totally. I mean, that was the end of the night, and it was very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming up and introducing yourself. You know, hopefully while you're here, maybe we can shoot the shit sometime. But yeah, man, it was great meeting you. Pardon me for I didn't sit and talk with you. But I was kind of winding down. But I hope you enjoy your trip here. Let's see. No, I didn't go home. I went home alone last night.
Home Alone.
Yep.
Home Alone 2. It's the second time he's gone home alone.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like, it's like, yeah. I don't know.
You feel good when you go home alone because you wake up and you feel clean, good about yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
You say, I didn't make any mistake last night. I didn't wake up and there's the maids in the bed or anything like that. No.
And my wallet's gone.
I always go.
That, you know?
I always go home alone. This is it. Nobody wants to go home with me, maybe not, but I don't ask him anyway now. But you went home alone, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And it's just like, it's kind of like I'm trying to think like. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, totally would have been a mistake.
He went home alone, but when he woke up, there was
I had
3
enough
people in the
sense.
room, robbing
Believe it or
it.
not. It's kind of like if you watch me on on my stream and stuff like that. I believe it or not. I mean, there's like some things that when I'm drinking and partying and things like that, where it's sort of like, oh yeah, not too much good judgment here or whatever. But at the same time, I have enough sense to like not be falling down drunk. Even though I was like whatever doing kind of back bends and falling down, but I wasn't like falling into people, and I was not breaking things. And that pole that I was dancing around, I mean, I was very aware that it was a damn flimsy ass, pole, and I was kind of dancing it around it and stuff because I'm not trying to like screw things up, I mean, a lot of other people that would maybe be, as drunk or whatever, would end up, they're busting shit and fighting people, and that's not what I'm about.
It's good to know you're non-violent. I feel safe with you.
Yeah.
I feel safe with Chuck. He's not about busting up the bar.
Did you hear that noise over there?
Yeah, it's a pump.
Oh,
It might be the pump or a motorcycle.
Sounds like a very old one.
Yeah.
That just cranked it up.
Oh yeah, it's a motorcycle. With a modified muffler.
Yeah, so
And it's a girl riding it. It's a girl riding that motorcycle.
Oh, really?
The one that
Oh, okay.
they got a pump going on out there as well.
So someone wants to know if, Mr. House has been asking the questions. He wants to know if you'll be his PD.
Sure. No problem. Take good care of you, sort you out, don't worry. He's like, oh, Ken's
Okay,
my
cool,
doctor,
Frank.
Ken's my internet doctor. No problem.
So Frank, is this your first time coming to Pattaya, to Thailand, or you've been here before? Nope, not your first. Nope, question mark. Many times. Cool. Yeah, so it's a great place, good fun. Do you travel other places around Southeast Asia and stuff like that? Have any recommendations for?
No muffler.
Yeah, it's going to turn it into
Oh,
craziness.
please turn that thing off. Sorry about the noise.
Wow.
Truck without a muffler.
What the hell is in the back of that truck?
His box fell off the muffler. you, does this guy, he's not in the truck, has he heard of turning off the engine?
Someone wants to know if there'll ever be a cure for cancer.
There are already. I mean, the thing is, because because there's a lot of types of cancer. There's a lot of things that can cure different types. Depends on the type. But yeah, we would like one thing to be able to cure every type of cancer. No doubt.
All right, give Dr. Ken a thumbs up here in the video. Thumbs up in the video. Not just in the chat, but on the video.
Good on you. Good chat with you.
You want to go to Vietnam and Cambodia?
Is that a water pump? What is this guy doing?
Rob says, hi, Dr. Ken.
Hey, how's it going, Rob? Nice to meet you.
Dr. Ken is the man. Yep.
I try. I try to be the man.
Cambodia is cool. You can go to like near Angkor Wat and stuff, and there's like a place where you can go and shoot any kind of gun, including a bazooka.
Oh, Angkor Wat, yeah. Oh, I stayed out there.
Yeah.
I stayed right next to the temple.
Oh.
I was right down the road. I stayed in a small hotel. Cheap hotels, if you want to get. When I went there was barely anyone there. It was fantastic. I think it was I stayed in a room for 400 baht a night. It was a good room, air conditioned. Not bad out there. It was really quiet.
Yeah, it's good prices. I don't know the name of them, but I had a really good guide there. I went there with my client one time, and
You take a tuk-tuk everywhere? They get you...
Streamlabs zapped someone. Mr. House got zapped by Streamlabs. Huh?
They take you around in the tuk-tuk?
No, he had a car, and then he had a cooler in the back, and he just, and I was with my client, so he didn't load it up with beers, but he was just like, man, here, next time you see me, whatever, here's my card, and when you're not, with your client and stuff like that, I'll load this up with beers and stuff, and show you a whole different, trip and everything.
Cool.
And unfortunately, I don't have that card.
What did you do with that card?
It's buried away in Hawaii somewhere.
Oh, no, you believe it.
I mean, it's one of those
he's
things.
He's got to buy his own drinks if he goes to Cambodia.
Yeah, but I mean, he was a great tour guide. He took me around to like all of the unusual sorts of places, that, like when you go to the temples and stuff. And he was like, he was showing me like all the different the carvings of like the people doing sexual positions, and he's like, look at this over here, and it's like some obscure little corner of the place, and it's like like a it's all carving stuff, whatever, and it would be like some little orgy scene or something that it's like and I also had a pretty cool guide in China that way too. He actually had his own conspiracy theory about I went to what is it, the Terracotta Warriors. So he actually had his own little tour where he had a book, and he had his own theory about the history of the Terracotta Warriors. But in addition to that, he had a not a B&B, but like apartments that he rented and stuff like that. And inside the apartments, he had like Terracotta Warrior foam outfits that you could put on, and he had like real weapons that you could hold. Maybe I'll make a video about that. I got some photos and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
And I think the Travel Channel did a video about his place after we were there. He was telling me they were going to come, but I never saw it, whatever. But he has all kinds of like Terracotta Warriors holding the bed up and stuff like that, and like statues and things, and like mounted into the wall, and just all kinds of like crazy stuff. It was fun as hell. So do you want to go?
Yeah, it's up to you.
We wind down, guys.
Sure.
Cool, yeah. Mr. House said thank you again. Cool. I'm glad you guys are watching. I'm glad you enjoy it. Hey, Sam, you're back. I don't know if you left, but let's see. Where did you go running today?
The
Sam wants to know.
South Pattaya Road, down to Sukhumvit, and then back. Yeah. Just a little couple kilometer run. I'm not big on running, to be honest. I do it once in a while, but I prefer just to go to the gym and work out.
So, what part of New Jersey are you from, and where did you practice?
Funny enough, Europe. I lived in my youth. I lived in Jersey. The very first year of my life, I was in Quebec. I lived in Central Jersey. I lived in Virginia for many years of my youth, West Virginia. But my mother, not liking it, wanted to go back. But yeah, my roots in Virginia. I've also lived in the Carolinas for years, going to university out there. I was out in Texas. I've lived in different states for probably over 11 years. I left America 30 years ago. I go back, of course, all the time, but I left America 30 years ago. I lived in Europe for 20 years. I practiced out in Europe, and then hence coming out here. That's the short version. One day I'll give you the long version. Very long.
Did you live in Montreal or?
No, I've been there, but
Canada?
I've been all over the main provinces, except for Newfoundland and places like that.
Sorry, someone got food poisoning when they were last time they were here in a good restaurant, and it was 5 days of being in bed. Yeah, that sucks, man.
That sucks. That goes to show you, no matter where you go, no matter how expensive the food is, if they don't freeze the food, or they make a mistake and leave it out and then freeze it, bacteria can grow on it, and you can get very sick. You got to be really careful with food. That's why I don't spice it too much. If it tastes funny, don't eat it. Yeah, that sucks. I hope you feel better.
That's why it's good that they're always with the thermometer or whatever going around, testing the temperature of food and stuff like that. But yeah, eating salad bars or any buffet things that are kind of late in the day and everything.
Tell me about it.
I tend to not.
I don't touch a salad bar. You're so right.
There was like a vegetarian grocery store in Hawaii, and they were it's owned by Krishnas, and there's like there's actually 3 or 4 different types of Krishna groups that are all like at odds with each other in Hawaii. It's kind of an interesting thing.
They're usually so pacifist. There's a group that marches down here every couple weeks with the music.
I mean, it's
lovely.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like fighting it, whatever, but I mean, they don't agree with each other, kind of thing. And it's very interesting because one of them owns this really cool house. I don't know if he's part of them. I don't know as far as, but I'm just saying he's one part of the Krishnas. He has this really cool house that he built. He was a sailor, I guess, and he kind of retired there. And he built this house from scratch, and he does weddings out of this house and stuff. And he's like ordained minister or something like that. So you can go and stay at his place, and then go across the street to a killer beach, beautiful beach, and he'll do the ceremony, and then you get to come and stay in his place and everything. It's got water. It's like total paradise in there. But then there's like this vegetarian chain of grocery stores called Down to Earth. And they're owned by another group of Krishnas, and they.
It's taking photos of you. That's the water filter.
Yeah.
It sounds like a camera.
I actually had a water filter that had the 3 on the bottom kind of thing at home, and I mean in Hawaii a lot of the houses are old. Hawaii has great water, but it has to go through a lot of old pipes once it gets into these old houses, and I lived in kind of an old house, so that's why I used a triple water filter, and it was really good. But my ex used to give me shit and say the regular.
The water.
Well, no, I mean she used to say I did a taste test with her or whatever, and just to be difficult, she said she liked the unfiltered water, and then whatever. I'm just like, okay, well then why do you keep drinking the filtered one? You don't
Give
have
her
to.
control test. Don't tell her.
Yeah.
Drink this, and then when she says, "Oh, I like this better," say, "Yeah, honey, it just came from the toilet." But if you insist, no. Yeah, Krishnas are laid back. Yeah, I had some Krishnas living under me when I was in Europe.
Have we eaten at the Foodland supermarket on Beach Road? You just saw a video about it.
What happened?
Didn't know existed.
Yeah, there's 2 Foodland. There's another Foodland. There's one on Central Pattaya Road, not too far from Big C. What happened in Foodland?
No. He just said have we eaten there or ate there. You talking about the
Not the grocery
you talking
store.
about the diner? Yeah. I was saying the supermarket, the Foodland supermarket. Are you talking about the diner that's right next to it, or are you talking about just simply going to the Foodland? Because I've shopped at the Foodland before, and I've Yeah, in the basement. You're talking about the diner in there? Yeah, the diner. Okay. I've had one thing there, and it was like, it's good because it's like really late night place, but it was just like, what did I eat? It was like grilled cheese or something like that, and it was just like the most like processed kind of. It had some French fries on the side, had like a pink or just barely red slice of tomato, you know, and on the side or whatever, and it was just kind of like. Didn't taste very nutritious.
That's the thing about here. One thing you will notice, you know, a lot of things are cheap, but I don't know why they charge a lot of money for cheese. You know, if you want cheese, good cheese, go into the stores and see the price.
Yeah.
You can get cheeses that are like $30 for a little bit. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I have had that problem. Real chocolate and cheese. They used to try it on with tea. You know, a box of PG tips or something. You know, for $15 US. Come on. But they're getting better. Yeah, but the cheese, a lot of it's processed because if they give you, you know, real cheese, it's expensive.
But,
So you got grilled cardboard.
but
That's
they,
what
yeah, I mean, it was the food there,
cheeses.
and I like I said, I
Yeah,
only
good
had the
cheeses,
one
huh?
thing, but I have a feeling just that the rest of it was just kind of bland and
Yeah.
not so good. But maybe on
They
the
got good
video they
cheeses, but
said
it's
that
at a
something was
premium.
better or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's a late night option. Excuse me, but I would if you're gonna have breakfast and late night and good, I would recommend a place that's there's a place that's like a block from Walking Street entrance, the main big sign. If you walk up Beach Road, it'll be. If you're walking away from Walking Street, it's on the right hand side, obviously, not on
Oh,
the
that
left
little-
side of the
yeah.
beach. But
You
there's
step
like a
into it,
breakfast place. It's right next to the McDonald's.
Yeah.
And they have eggs Benedict, eggs Florentine they'll make you, and comes with the coffee and whatever. Don't remember the price offhand, but how do I know him? I ran into him right in this spot. That's where we met.
He had gonorrhea and he came to my,
Don't
my old
start
clinic.
that rumor.
And I'm just kidding. He didn't. It's a joke.
Trolls are gonna-
Nah, he didn't. His friend did. I'm just,
Let's see. Okay, yeah, Sam, you had that diner in Foodland too. It's nothing special. Yep. So anyway, maybe we'll wind down.
yeah, why not, Sharon?
So
Fantastic. Good responses. Good.
cool. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and it's the Dr. Ken Show on Chuck Wow Show.
The Chuck Ken Show. I'm not. I don't mind. We don't mind the pecking order. Chuck and Ken Show. Yeah.
Hey, Mana.
Good to speak with you guys. Good to be here. Thank you for having me. Again, thank you for having me, Chuck. Fantastic. Yeah. And yeah, his health's fantastic, actually. We're just teasing about that. Fantastic health. We've checked it all. Everything's running like clockwork. So good.
Cool. Take care, guys. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, Ken. I'm just reading off the comments for you.
Hey, all the best, and yeah, keep
Hello
healthy.
from Germany.
You have any questions? You got my email. What they say about Germany?
He said hello from Germany.
Hey, ich bin Ken. Guten Nacht, guten Tag.
Okay, cool. All right, man. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Glenn.
So
Thanks all you
when-
guys.
Let him know if you want
Thanks.
when the next time when we'll be back on. Maybe we don't have a schedule, do we?
Yeah, we don't have a
Yeah.
schedule.
What we'll try to do, I'll let him speak about it because I mean he's doing the videoing.
Yeah, we'll start trying to figure out the proper schedule and everything like that. But as far as does this time? I mean, I guess it works for you guys that are on here. But we tend to meet for dinner, and so. But this is late.
See,
This
he's
is way
mean. He
after.
only wants to come in when he's hungry. I'm just joking.
This place is good though. I really like this place, and the woman's like cool. She's I've been talking to her or whatever.
He
and,
has been talking to her.
So she'll get me back into doing yoga, which I've been meaning to do because she does yoga at 6 a.m., which is I'm not that much of a morning person, so I'm kind of like. Ugh.
Yeah, this
But
is it.
I'll
We'll
give it a try.
Definitely, but whenever he wants me to be on, like in the evening, I'm usually free. I'm in I'm in house. I
Is the
can
best
come in.
time for you this time? Like maybe a little bit earlier or
I
something?
mean,
or?
I never. The good thing is this.
It's
I mean,
good because there's nobody here right now. I mean, if we were here earlier, it could be loud and noisy.
if you come early, I mean, I wouldn't mind coming early. Like there's some days I have half the day free, but here you guys would just hate it. It's so noisy. There's people screaming and yelling. They're having a good time in the defense, but there's so much noise disturbance. You really won't get a good experience. You need a degree of quiet so that you can have a good experience on the show and hear what we're actually saying. But evening is better in terms of quality for your viewing pleasure. I don't want a load of people screaming in the background. Otherwise, I don't mind, but you can't concentrate, can you? Maybe you can concentrate better than I can. But what we'll do is try to set a schedule, because I never made a YouTube channel. I do pure computer programming and all those things. And the people have said, get a channel, get a channel. I might do one day, and even Chuck might work it with me. We get one together and we'll do, but whatever we do,
I have to be on his channel.
we can combine channels and make it, but whatever we do, we'll do for your benefit, and I'll let you know. Because like I said, I'm easy going. I'm just a doctor, and just this, and I like to help people, so.
All around nice guy.
I try to be. I'm not bad. You can slap me around, whatever. I don't do anything back. I just apologize and walk away. But we'll try to help you out. If you're ever not well, like I said, send me an email. You know my email address, drkenjames@hotmail.com, Dr. Ken James @hotmail.com. If you have a personal, anything that you want to ask, such as that. But if I do get a channel up, when I do, I was going to put one up months ago. And then I got into the programming, and then just all these things that I have to do. I never did it. So if I do, Chuck will do it with me. It's cool, like I said, it's good having Chuck around because we gel and we can have a bit of fun. But until I even do a channel or ever even do one or whatever, maybe we could get a schedule going. So if I come every couple of days or every other day and give an hour or two. So I try to give you guys some fun,
Cool.
This is it, yeah. All right. So all the best. Cool. Well done, Chuck.
Woo! All right. Peace. See you guys later.
Hey.
Enjoy your lives. Have fun. Eat healthy.
Auf Wiedersehen. L'chaim.